Y bien, gente, ya voy entonces a pasar ahora sí a lo que es completamente el stream. Vamos a... Voy a achicarme un poco, porque creo que lo más importante esta vez sí es poder ver lo máximo que podamos de el stream. Listo, entonces ahora sí nos queda esperar el ratito que queda. Antes de que ya se inicie, voy a tener aquí el chat de ustedes abierto en una ventana. Mm, ¿Cómo lo puedo ver? ¿Cómo puedo tener? No, creo que no voy a poner el chat aquí en una ventana aparte. Así es que voy a abrir entonces el chat por aquí para tenerlo a la vista. Pero obviamente ya no viéndolo en mi computadora. Entonces por ahí puede que no pueda ver tan. No los pueda ver tan en tiempo real como me gustaría. ¿Cuál está conectado? No, cámbiame al otro. Estoy cambiando de conexión aquí. Porque sí está viendo por ahí sus pequeños temas. Vamos a ver el canal y el en vivo. Listo, entonces ya ahora sí. Solamente nos queda falta esperar a que inicie. Ya tengo ahora sí el chat. No me lo puedo dejar. A ver. Ya está, ahora sí puedo ver mejor el chat. Así que vamos a ver qué cosa nos trae. Se supone que empiezan en 3 minutos. Vamos a ver si de alguna manera puedo jalarme este. A ver. Si puedo cambiar la miniatura al de este video. No tenía pensado hacer directo, pero ya que justamente, porque no sabía si iba a tener tiempo, ya que justamente se me abrió la posibilidad de poder hacerlo, yo creo que dije, ya pues, vamos a meterle. Vamos a ver si es que puedo cambiarle. Si no, vamos a igual a entrar a Warhammer Community a ver si me puedo robar alguna imagen por ahí. Eh, No, a ver, vamos a ver si es que aquí sale con la imagen completa. Yo creo que podría ser también esta imagen que saca, que se ve todo bonito. Así es que me voy a robar otra imagen. Vamos a mandarla acá al escritorio. Vamos a usar esa de thumbnail, ya que no estoy pudiendo robarme la otra. Vamos a rezar un ratito a que me vean aquí completo. Un segundito en lo que voy haciendo aquí el cambio. Porque ese cambio sí lo tengo que hacer acá en vivo. Y no los quiero marear con las cosas que están apareciendo por acá. Listo. Entonces ya con eso queda. Esto sí, este directo está atrasadito. Y listo. Uy, igual eso es lo que no quería que vieran. Pero ya lo vieron. Así es que ya pues. Jefe, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está? Un minuto. Un minuto. Un minuto para... A ver, está con... Déjame ver si es que está con el audio correcto. No. Casi me pierdo. Casi me pierdo el audio. Así que en este momento no hay audio, obviamente. Estamos esperando aquí nada más de que arranque. Lo único que, miren, sí es un poco nitpicky de mi parte, pero que le llamen a toda la edición el nombre de una sola banda, me parece como que, o sea, alimenta mi temor de que solo va a haber una caja en toda la edición, a menos que ahora la edición le estén llamando a todo lo que ocurra en un año. Esperemos realmente que no sea, esperemos que realmente nos den la mega sorpresa muy positiva de todo lo que se viene este año. Yo estoy emocionadísimo de todo lo que he visto. Siento que el juego va a crecer mucho con con todo lo que están haciendo. Pero de todas maneras falta ver, ¿no? O sea, ¿qué nos trae? Bueno, por ahora parece que la edición se ha demorado. Se están demorando un poquito. Vamos a ver si en Twitch ya inició. No creo, porque deben estar iniciando en ambos a la vez. Efectivamente. Ya. No. Este de acá es el que está sonando. Porque este de acá... Ahí está, ya empezó, ya empezó. Ahora sí, ya empezó. Ya empezó, nos dicen que empieza pronto. Por lo menos ya tenemos musiquita que nos acompaña. Voy a subirle el volumen. Y tenemos musiquita que nos acompaña. Una vez que inicie, déjenme ver cómo están los niveles. Una vez que inicie, sí lo voy a bajar. Para que no me interrumpa si es que yo trato de comentarles algo. Ya, aquí hay una pequeña corrección que tengo que hacer por esta vez. Vamos a entrar en modo estudio de nuevo. Listo. Ahora sí, ya estamos. Lo estoy dejando así. Ahí está. Y iniciamos ahí mismo.
Welcome to the stream this evening. We're going to be taking a first look at Embergard. We're going to have a full game played by our two presenters, Nick and Josh, who have joined me. My name's Ed and I'll be your host, and I'll be answering some of your questions tonight. If you have a question, just make sure you put the word question in all caps at the beginning. Just help me see what's going on.
Bueno, dice, si están viendo el stream en directo, ponen pregunta para ver. Entonces tenemos a Josh contra Nick. Yo apostaría que Nick va a hacer los Embergards y Josh va a hacer los Skaven. Como suponía.
Meanwhile, over here I've got the Emberwatch, who are the Stormcast Eternals. These are the two warbands that come inside the Embergard box.
Ok. Van a jugar, parece que van a jugar con el van a jugar con el despliegue así. Eso quiere decir que van a haber solamente 5 líneas centrales.
Well, yeah, so actually not yet. So tonight we're going to be going through quite a few things that are actually have changed about the edition of the game. And the first thing that actually we do before we roll off for anything is we draw our hands of cards.
Yes.
Un cambio fuerte. Primero se roba la mano. Antes de poner cualquier cosa, primero se roba la mano. Eso es una diferencia muy grande.
And a pretty saucy opening hand of objectives too, so I'm going to keep those too. Very nice.
Vamos a ver si el mulligan también ha cambiado.
Okay, with that done, it's time to roll off. Now we roll off.
Entiendo que el mulligan no cambia entonces.
Change as well is that a roll off is no longer 4 dice, it's just one single attack dice apiece.
Ok, un solo dado. Bueno.
And you've rolled a hammer.
A mighty roll to start.
I have also rolled a hammer, so it's going to be a reroll.
Están empatados, o sea, tenemos ahora crítico, le gana todo lo demás, espadas, le gana, o sea, es crítico, espadas, martillos y dobles sobre lo demás. Ok, entonces solamente se habían sentado y ahora le están cambiando el tablero. El tablero va a ser, como estamos viendo, se va a doblar en 4, así es que va a ser mucho más transportable, ahí hay algo más positivo. Van a jugar entonces con el terreno de nadie grande y como se divide en 4 va a ser fácil poder ver cuál es el territorio de nadie, que era una de las preocupaciones de poder verlo más fácilmente. El tablero es un poco más grande y empiezan con el colocando en el medio. ¿Okay? El que no escogió tablero parece que es ahora el que escoge al otro lado, así es que sí, efectivamente el terreno neutral va a ser el medio. Pareciera entonces que Psychic... No. Están poniendo el overlay mal, así no es. Exacto, el medio es el territorio neutral. Estaban poniendo mal el overlay.
Sorry, Raf. I was making life difficult for our producers there. Sorry, Raf. Of course, we have Raf in the background here pressing the buttons for us and flipping the cards.
Me parece que quien escogió la posición no es el que pone el primer tablero, el primer token. Tiene sentido. Entonces entiendo que de la forma que estoy viendo cómo lo pone Psychic Seekit parece que va a ser más de control y entonces Emberwatch me imagino que va a ser más de ataque.
Okay, excellent stuff. Now it's time to place our miniatures down, and here there's no roll-off as there was in previous editions, and simply the player that placed the last treasure token places the first miniature. And is that you, Josh?
That is me, yes.
Ok, entonces básicamente el que escoge la orientación coloca al final y coloca solamente 2 treasure tokens. Que ahora es el nuevo nombre del feature token.
Okay, I'm going to deploy. I'm going to go as I mean to go on, Josh. I'm going to go front and center with Ardorn. The Stormcast leader is going to go right in the middle.
Definitivamente entonces los Stormcast son de ir a atacar. ¿Por dónde lo está posicionando? Son de ir a atacar. ¿Atrás? Ok, no tan atrás como había pensado, pero atrás. O sea, sí, control. Definitivamente ellos son control. Y él está lo más adelante que pueda. Ellos definitivamente son de ir a hacer daño.
Lead from the back like a Skaven should. Finally, I've got Farasa, who is my assassin, and she's going to set up right there on the side. Quite an aggressive setup from the Stormcast here.
Absolutely. I'm not so much of a fan of that. So I'm going to set
y tiene rango también.
Miércoles. Piloting a tiny doom wheel over here.
Okay.
Solamente a uno, pero pega 3. Pega bastante fuerte, con 2 martillos, ¿eh?
A tiny little rat who carries an explosive surprise.
Look at this. Raph is on the ball with these cards. Thank you very much indeed, man. Appreciate this. Now you can see every fighter has a fighter card which has all its.
Ok, y tiene los símbolos de Warcry, por lo que estoy viendo, los héroes. Sí, ya se había visto, pero estoy reafirmándolo.
Generally speaking, fighters have more health than they used to, so they're a bit harder to take down. And also different fighters have different bounty scores, depending they score different glory for how much.
Bien, va a ser el juego un poco más cerrado, más larguito porque van a tener un poco más de vida los peleadores.
Before we jump in, we do have a couple of questions that actually relate to deployment.
Marvelous.
So we've got a couple of questions of, can you deploy on the board edge, or is that still a no-go?
On the board edge, so all fighters have to be deployed onto these starting hexes here. Are you talking about the objective tokens?
Oh, well, that's the
sí,
question.
los objective
tokens. Still have to be two hexes.
Yes, the same restrictions for treasure tokens are still in place. So treasure tokens must be 2 hexes apart, or a minimum here. So I couldn't have a treasure token here, for example. Treasure tokens can't be on the edge hex unless they absolutely have to be. And crucially, the first one has to go down in neutral territory, and once you've deployed all the treasure tokens, they have to be at least 1 treasure token in each territory. So you can't just completely bind.
Cambios sustanciales a la forma que se coloca. Uno tiene que ir al neutral y tiene que haber por lo menos uno en el territorio de cada enemigo. El territorio de cada jugador.
Absolutely right. I think it's time to start the game.
I think so.
Josh, we're going to have a roll-off here. Now, there's no free crits for deploying first. That's gone. It's just down to the roll-off. So here we go.
Un solo dado, ok.
Josh, you've rolled.
I've rolled.
Lo más bajo que puede.
And I've rolled a hammer, which beats that. So I will choose to go. I'm going to choose to go first, Josh. Let's have a great game, man.
Of course.
Right.
Good luck.
Okay, so this is my first turn.
It is. Now, before you start your first turn, because you won the roll-off, I actually get to draw an additional power card.
That's right, you do.
Ya, la ventaja del 12p en este caso es un power card. Bacán. Se compensa para el que va primero. El que va primero, el que va segundo, perdón, se le compensa.
I know you're trying to capture objectives with your take and hold deck.
I might be.
No sé si es que está saliendo fuera de cámara, pero me parece que solo hubieran 3 activaciones.
With Yurik the archer here, it's going to make a charge action with my first activation onto treasure token number 5 in the center of the board.
Y él tiene 4 de rango, o sea que le puede disparar a cualquiera.
Charge token here, and they're going to fire. Now, if we take a look at Yurik's cards, if it's alright, Raf, to have a look on the screen. You can see that his ranged attack, the bow at the bottom,
4, efectivamente.
4, which is pretty good. He's going to roll 2 dice and needs hammers to get a success. I'm going to declare the target of my attack, Josh, is going to be. I mean, I'm going to aim at this horrible kill wheel.
Okay.
I want to push it back as far as possible.
Tiene sentido. Lo aleja.
For the successes, here we go. And I've rolled nothing.
Nada. 0.
Of course. You did say it.
Sí, ese cambio de objetivo es bastante importante.
The end of my attack action, so now it's time for the power step. Have we any cards to play? Yeah, do you know what? I think Yurik could be in a spot of bother where he is.
Necesita defensa, de todas maneras.
I am going to
Aunque solo le van a pegar una vez.
shields up its a ploy card.
Ok.
There we go. Raph's on it. Look at this.
Lightning speed.
Ok, le da token de guardia. Bien.
Quite cool. Also means he won't be pushed back off the objective, which is cool. Anything for you, sir? Over to you.
Está jugando con Blazing Assault, ok. Sí, al final los dados deciden, eso queda claro, ¿no? Pero igual el posicionamiento de los objetivos es sustancial.
Yeah, some very eagle-eyed folks online have been making pictures of miniatures and hexes. They are actually a little bit smaller. Yes, you can see that a 40mm base here, such as Faras's, is hugging the size of the board. The board's actually smaller in general. It's got more hexes on the board than it did before, but the playing space is slightly smaller, which just makes for a more compact game.
Claro, es lo que también decía del tablero, ¿no? O sea, el tablero es más grande, pero está más comprimido. O sea, la pelea es más encarnada.
Do you know what? I'm going to do something else that's new as well, Josh.
Are you?
So, Yurik in the center here has a guard token.
Yes.
Okay.
Ujú.
And I'm going to take Yurik here and delve objective number 5.
Ok,
So that's
se
going to be,
queda Del.
for all intents and purposes, it's not a treasure token that's scoreable.
That's right.
It's in fact giving him cover.
Now, what's new is that while like delving's not a
Sigue
new
siendo
token,
cover.
he's going to get a stagger token, which he has as well as a guard token. So he just has both, which is quite cool. So there we go.
Plenty of tokens.
Stagger
Y-
token there, it helps you reroll hits when you're trying to hit him.
Ok, lo nuevo es que ya no te quita el guard.
Holding the ground in the center there, Josh. Have you any cards to play?
Porque creo que funcionaba igualito. Me parece que el cambio es que ahora el stagger no te quita el guard.
I'm not actually a Stormcaster. I'm actually a human myself. I've completely forgotten to score my first glory point of the game.
What, in the first turn?
So I'm going to score that now. The objective, get stuck in, is being scored here. There we go. Raph, you're so
Es un search que estaba en territorio enemigo. Ok, obtiene un punto de gloria.
And your fighter was in enemy territory when I shot at the kill wheel. So
Certainly was.
doesn't even need to be successful. So just going to score a glory point for making that attack in the first place.
Ok, bastante rápido que se consigue gloria.
Stormcast Eternals. Do you want to retire here and call the stream now?
Well, the way your dice rolls have been going to start off this game, I'm going to put faith that mine might be a little bit better.
Probably not wrong. Right, dude. It's over to any more power cards in the first
No,
power
I
spot?
am going to pass, yes.
Me too. So it's over to your first activation.
Listo, pasan, así es que vamos a ver qué hace el otro lado.
Over to me. So, now, Ritak, our little doom wheel pilot, didn't really like being shot at, so he's
Va a
going to
vengarse.
charge, revving up the doom wheel,
Yeah.
moving 3 spaces forwards.
Well, it's a kill wheel, not a doom wheel.
Oh,
it's
of
not
course.
quite full of doom.
It's a little bit smaller, isn't
a
it?
little bit small.
And he's going to make an attack
Yep.
into Yurik.
Yeah. Okay.
Ujú.
So, Ritak has just 2 dice. If this card can be put up, maybe. Then, needing
Está buscando
hammers.
martillos.
There we go.
Nice.
3 de daño.
Massive 3 damage if it goes
That's a
through.
big if, isn't
Let's see if it happens.
it? And
¡Oh!
So I actually get a hit here
Dos
and a crit.
éxitos.
roll.
That's
So
a great one to start off.
now you have a stagger token on Yurik. Would you like to re-roll either of those dice, Josh?
Do you know what? Though I have the choice, I'm actually fairly happy with my hit
No,
and
yo tampoco volvería a tirar el
Well, I'm
dado.
going to try and roll my save here, and I've only got 1 save dice. Let's see if what I can do here, and I have got a shield. So it's going to be 2 successes for you, but 1 success for me. So the damage is going to go through. Josh, how much damage was that? 3.
So it's going to be 3.
Ya, cambio de nombre. Ya no son Smash y Fury, ahora sí son Hammer y Swords.
Yurik's going to get 3.
Otro cambio.
Now, normally this would be where you could drive me back, Josh.
Yes.
Y
It's
no vi
So,
bien.
you're not driving me back? No.
Voy a regresar un
Now,
ratito.
so,
going to be 3.
1 success. And
Shield y Dodge. Ya, eso sí sigue siendo igual.
Tokens down there. Now, normally this would be where you could drive me back, Josh.
Yes.
But I have a guard token, so you're not driving me back nowhere. So
No lo puede porque el guard ahora te impide ser empujado.
However, I do have a card that I can play. So I have a ploy card here called Shoulder Throw,
Ok.
which is play this after a friendly fighter's successful attack the target was adjacent.
Yep.
I can remove them from the battlefield and place them in a different empty hex adjacent to the attacker.
very nice. Where's
So
it gonna go?
imagine that Yurik has been caught up in the big spin of the kill wheel
Yeah.
and is moved off of that feature token and directly behind.
Ahí
All of his cover tokens with it
Ritak.
as well. That's pretty
yo lo
good.
pondría arriba, pero bueno, ya es
Does it
decisión
glory
de...
at all?
It has not this time.
Which means, Josh, so at the moment,
Queda
anyways,
2 de vida, creo, el líder.
they are the underdog.
Yes.
So
Sí,
right now,
2 de
Josh,
vida.
you are the underdog, and we're going to represent that in this game with little Archibald the Griffhound.
Of course.
Going to go onto this side of the dice.
I'll be an
straight to
undergriff hound instead. That seems fine.
There he is. All right. Okay, so that was your power step. Any power cards for me? Yes. Oh, do I dare do it now?
En 1080.
Do I dare do it, Josh? Yeah, I'm absolutely going to do it. Let's go for a commanding stride. It's a ploy card coming in. Raph knew I was going to do it.
Empuja hasta 3 hexágonos.
He's going to be pushed 3 hexes, but must end on a starting hex. 1, 2, 3. There he is.
That is a fairly decent stride there.
Sí.
It's pretty commanding.
I do actually have a power card to play in response.
Okay.
And I'm going to play the sidestep ploy card, targeting Ritak.
Yep.
So this allows me to pick a friendly fighter and push them 1 hex.
Very nice.
So that basically means I think Ritak might be in trouble after that attack.
Yep.
So we're going to put ourselves in the cover.
Y si es verdad lo que yo sospecho que es de control.
Okay. I've no more power cards to play. Is it time for my perhaps second activation?
Yes, I will pass as well, so it's over to you.
Right.
Just before you jump in though, Nick, we do have a pretty big question which is coming up. It's about new and returning warbands.
Yes, of course.
What can we expect from people who have collections already?
Buena pregunta.
Sure. So the Warhammer community website's already talked about the fact that there are going to be Warhammer warbands coming back. You'll be able to use some of the miniatures that you already own in your collection. However, which warbands exactly are coming back and when, we haven't revealed yet. We're not going to reveal tonight, so just keep your eyes open on the Warhammer.
Okay, no nos van a soltar el caramelito.
In the near future. It's not the sort of thing we want to talk about here tonight, but yes, rest assured, you'll be able to use
Pronto, por favor.
that you have purchased before, so you should be good for that. But just wait for that article on Warcom, and we'll go from there. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
And please, if anyone else asks that tonight, it's going to be the same answer. So I know. I'm sorry, but we can't answer much more than that.
No nos quieren soltar el caramelito.
So, do you know what? I'm going to have a second activation, Josh.
Are you?
And I fancy splatting me a rat.
Now, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Right? Ardorn, the leader, is feeling pretty tenacious.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's time yet to start killing your leader. So, here,
Va a matar la rata.
I'm going to make a charge action with Ardorn. He's going to charge from here. 1, 2, 3 over here, and he's going to target Crititok with his Azurite hand axe.
Yo la veo difícil, pero vamos a ver qué ocurre.
He needs hammers.
Let me just move these out of the way.
Oh no, I'll keep those if you fancy. He needs hammers to hit Crititok with his big axe. And it's one success.
Un éxito.
So yeah, these days crits are just a success like anything else is. They don't override everything anymore. So
that's true.
Josh, you could just pass one normal. So what's your save on?
Well, I have 1 dice, and I need a dodge.
So dodge could stop this.
So let's see how nimble Crititok is. With scoring a crit, that means I'm able to...
Nada, no pasó nada. Y no pasa nada. Claro, por el empate sí lo puede empujar, eso sí. No puede perseguirlo. No sé si es una buena opción empujarlo con personajes que tienen... Bueno, tiene rango, pero a él lo que más le interesa... Él más daño hace cuerpo a cuerpo, no...
If a friendly fighter began the action step in enemy territory, used a core ability, inspire the fighter. Yes, he did. Ardorn used a charge action, which is core ability, and started in Josh's territory. So Ardorn is now inspired. What a hero.
Yes, you were able to use commanding stride in an earlier turn to
that's right.
cunning effect there.
It was my plan all along.
Claro, avanzar y cargar, está bien.
You will notice here that Ardorn is in a spot of bother completely surrounded by rats.
It certainly is.
As such, in the power step, I'm going to use the ploy card, Illusory Fighter. Right, and I'm going to take Ardorn, and I'm going to just pick him up, and I'm going to put him down over here, away from your scary rat. So he's just made that, he takes his charge taken with him.
Miércoles, que estos se mueven, pero...
There we go. That's any cards for you, Josh?
No, I am going to pass here.
Okay, so it's over to your turn, your second activation, sir.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so,
yep, second turn. It used to be called activation, now it's called turn. Sorry.
Ok.
That's your veteran.
O sea, ronda 1, turno 2. Ok.
So it's going to be my second turn, and I'm going to activate Niche.
Me parece mejor, me parece un poco más... Como dicen, ¿no? El reglamento está un poco más claro.
He's got a very strong arm.
Yep.
He fancies throwing one of his explosive contraptions at Yurik.
Yep.
Sí, vaya, baile posiciones, definitivamente.
Yurik, yep.
Yes. So Nitch has 2 attack dice and needs hammers. So
Okay.
let's see what we can get.
A ver, 2 martillos, martillo, martillo, martillo.
Oh, so he's managed to get 1
Bueno.
success, but of course, Yurik has a stagger token,
Yep.
so I'm able to take this failed dice and re-roll it. And it's still not a success, so we've
Okay,
still got 1.
Yurik has 1 save dice. He needs to go a shield here, please. In Sigmar's name, no. he's
Nada.
failed. What's the damage?
It's just going to be 1.
Ooh, he's still
1.
alive.
Sí, de rango normalmente va a ser 1 nomás.
Health to start the game with, as Yurik.
Está a 1, ¿ah?
Good way, Josh. I'm not gonna lie.
A 1.
Right, so it's going to be my power step, and I am being quite conservative with my cards. I am going to pass here.
Okay.
Sí, tal cual. Me gusta que ahora le llamen turno, ronda
Okay.
y fase.
It
O
is.
sea, como que se entiende un poco mejor.
Just jump
Yeah,
in
of
on the
course.
question. It's about deck building.
Yes.
What's going on with deck building? Are we still doing that in future?
So, right, what we have definitely said already is that deck building is still a part of Warhammer Underworlds.
Certainly.
And the Nemesis format will indeed involve deck building much like it does now as well. The Nemesis format is still there. Rivals and Nemesis are still absolutely part of the game. However, we've not yet talked about what the Nemesis format looks exactly like yet. There's lots to talk about, and you and I have actually written an article about this.
We have, yes.
So you see that coming soon. But we're not going to discuss that quite yet. But just rest assured, fans, deck building is still part of the game.
Certainly.
Ok.
Plenty of words.
Sigue habiendo Rivals. Parece que no va a haber Championship. Nemesis regresa, pero con una nueva forma que todavía no nos quieren decir cuál es. Para variar.
Yes.
I'm going to activate Farasa the Assassin.
El tercer turno.
And she's going to run in and try and do a disservice to this kill wheel. Or is that true? I don't know if it is, you know. Because I wonder if I could take this model off the objective. She's got a movement of 3.
Rasta's phenomenally fast.
Yeah, she's only movement 3, but I can't quite yet. So, my plan is I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move her to here. 1, 2, 3, like so. And I'm just going to take a cheeky little pot shot with her ranged weapon. I've done this, Josh, so that she starts her next activation in enemy territory.
Yes, I have noticed.
Which should
Very
be,
cunning.
Right? So she's going to do that for there. And she's going to aim her range 3 weapon, unfortunately a bit too far away here.
Yeah.
But I will take a shot at...
A la rata.
Realised
That's
he's
the-
missed a little charge token.
Oh, okay.
He was that eager to throw his...
Ah, no, también puede el líder.
I'm going to shoot her throwing knives at... I'm going to go for Zicket, the leader.
Al líder. Ok, sí. Al líder, al líder.
On hammers for Farasa. And she has got 2 successes.
2 éxitos, ok.
Nice.
Ya ganó.
Now, Zicket does have two
Ah, no, él tiene
defenses,
2, ok.
leading
Todavía
the
puede.
defenses here.
Pero evasiones, nada, solo una.
One that is not going to cut it.
Is that going to be 1 damage?
Un dañito nomás.
That's going to cut him good. 1 damage through on the leader, and I will drive him back to this hex over here as well.
Of course.
Thank you very much indeed.
Right, so it's a good opportunity after your
A ver.
action step, Nick, presuming that's you wrapped up there.
Well, not quite.
Ooh.
Not quite. Because Farasa... I'm not sure. It's not quite the end of the action step because I'm going to just take...
Do you have cunning
I have
tricks?
some cunning trickery up my sleeve here. And I'm going to use a card called Vanguard Dash. It's on the War Scroll here for Skaven. Or for the Emperor.
Dijo que es el final del action, que si son solo 3 activaciones.
Vanguard Dash at the top is a 1 use only ability. Now you can see on the table here... Oh, you probably can't behind the...
Ah, your action step.
This is far too close to your leader, Zicket, who hasn't got any tokens for my liking. So I'm going to use
Absolutely.
Vanguard Dash.
Otra vez a
That
desaparecer.
friendly fighter, remove her from the battlefield, and place it on an empty edge hex, all the way over here, miles and miles away from Zicket, who I think is now out of range of any of his attacks, keeping her a little bit safer.
Super reposicionamiento, pero ya no puedo volver a usar esa habilidad.
Onto an empty edge hex. It's going to keep her alive a bit longer, hopefully, and it's probably hopefully good use of that.
Absolutely.
All right, so that now is indeed
The end
of my action step. Yes.
Right, well in that case, Raph, would you be able to bring up Zicket's Tunnel Packs War Scroll? Because it's time to see the Skaven's Inspire condition. And I think it's one we're all going to agree is very Skaven. As you'll see, after an action step, if one of my fighters is dealt damage or slain, I can pick another friendly fighter and inspire them. Because my Skaven are just that glad that someone else was beaten up instead of
Yeah,
them.
that's pretty good fun.
O sea, por fin le hace daño, así es que ahora por fin puede inspirar.
Inspire Critatok.
Okay, Kritatok is the little chap with the big claws, right?
Yes, of course, because seeing his leader damaged, he's one more step up the food chain and thinking he could be the next warband boss.
Josh, I made a bit of a sequencing error once more, as I am merely a non-reforged human.
Tienes que inspirar a... Sí, tienes que inspirar a Fara.
It was a perfect strike, a surge objective.
Ah, primero puntos.
If all the results were successes, perfect strike. Thank you very much indeed. There we go. So I've scored that
Un
now.
puntito.
Although I should have scored it a minute ago. But there we go. We're getting excited about the game here, Josh.
We certainly are.
So I'll draw another card up as it was a surge. And that's that. So 2 glory to the...
Se olvidó de inspirarlo.
Absolutely.
At the end of my third action step, the power step. Have I got anything to do here? Is it time to finally put an upgrade? No. The upgrade I've got, Josh,
Yes.
called Sharpened Points.
Ooh.
I've got it in my hand, but it gives me... oh, do you know what? It might be useful. Actually, I'm going to keep that on my sleeve for now. I'm going to keep it in hand. It gives me the cleave rule, which is useful against shield defense. And the only model you've got that's got that is your kill wheel.
Yes, that's
but I
true.
think when they inspire, it goes to dodges. So
They're adaptable. What can I say?
not useful now. But it's time for your next activation, unless you have any power cards to play.
Yes, no, I will be passing, so it'll be straight over to my third turn.
Go for what you got.
And the newly inspired Critatok
Yep.
is hungry for blood.
Yep.
And is going to make
Pero
a
no
charge
está
action
un toque lejos.
to Yurik.
Nice.
Yurik finds himself
Ah,
on
ok, ya,
level
claro, movimiento
8,
3.
So
Yeah, don't worry, I've got this, guys.
there
Trust,
might be,
trust me,
there
chat.
might be a big attack coming in here.
Creo que se va.
The first Stormcast being slayed.
Creo que se va.
Well, there are comments that if the Skaven manage to get the lead, they'll be using rigged dice with warpstone laced weighting.
And that
Seems
is
about right.
absolutely the case.
Only way you could
yes.
Sí, sí, totalmente de acuerdo. Si los escaven, le dan la vuelta es porque están usando trap.
Now inspired, has 3 attack dice,
Yep.
needing swords, and does a
Nice.
mighty 2 damage if he's able to get
Well,
any
that will
through.
kill Yurik. He's only got 1 health left.
Absolutely.
Sí, sí. No importa cuándo, prácticamente pasa y ya está. Y tiene reroll encima. 3
And,
da.
we've gotten 1 crit, but the others are not successful.
Which means-
But
Pero-
Yurik still has that stagger
Oh,
token,
you're right, I forgot.
which I'm going to try to take advantage of. We've got
Con
another
reroll,
chance.
a ver.
And it's a success.
2
Makes
éxitos.
that 1 hit and 1 crit.
I will
Ciao.
really save dice for the sake of completion. It's a fail anyway. And
Sí, igual, ya con 2 éxitos ya no había nada que hacer.
By a Skaven, of all
Skaven.
things, the
Absolutely.
disrespect.
Con eso él gana 2 de gloria.
And the bounty for Yurik, Raph, you can bring out the fighter card. For Yurik is 2. So he's worth 2 bounty. Josh, you get 2 points.
No, no hay. Ya, pero entonces ahora que están empatados, ¿no hay underdog?
I'm going to have my revenge, don't you worry.
I have a feeling you're going to have your revenge.
Which means no one's the underdog right now. So Archibald.
Lo que suponía, nadie es de underdog.
Very true.
There he is. All right. Okay.
So, yes, of course, it is the power step.
Yeah, anything for you?
Ujú.
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to... I don't really like how you delved that objective in the middle. I quite like it being a treasure token.
Yeah.
So, risky as it might be, I'm going to delve it back to the
Yeah.
treasure side
It's a good idea.
with Ritak. This will, however, give me a stagger token.
Sí, pero ya él ya solamente tiene 2.
Very good.
Anything from you, Nick?
Nothing yet, Josh. There'll be stuff coming in though. All done?
Yep.
I think it's time for my last turn of the first battle round. As both of my fighters have a charge token on them, I can activate them now, but they can only make a move or shoot or guard action. So I'm going to activate Farasa. I know you want to be on those treasure tokens.
I certainly do.
So she's going to activate and shoot into, is it Niche on the objective there?
It is Nick.
Okay.
You've spotted him.
Here I'm going to use the Surge objective, Determined Effort. And that's going to go down and play. And I get +1 dice. If I was the underdog, I get +2 dice, which is pretty
Pero
good.
no eres
So
el
I'm
underdog.
picking her shooting weapon, and you play that now as a reaction basically to that being picked.
Yes.
So she's going to roll 3 dice. As a result now...
De sí son 4, solamente que no se vio el último toque.
Here it goes, Farasa. I believe in you. And I've only got rolled 1 success, though, which is not great.
Of course, right. And Niche does only have 1 dice, so...
So I believe in that.
Evasiones, va a estar
That
difícil, ¿ah?
dodge,
It's
a
¡Oh!
So, yeah, that attack is stopped. But Josh, I'm going to leave those...
Encima podría reducir en 1 el daño.
The objective Branching Fate. The surge which is Branching Fate, which means all 3 of my dice had a different result on it. It doesn't even need to be successful. It's just they had a different result. I'll score a glory for that. So it's
Okay.
3 in the bag for the Ember.
Y el underdog pasa entonces al otro lado.
Which is not great. I'll discard that and pick up another one here as well.
It's real nice.
Crucially as well, because Farasa started in your territory and she's made a core ability.
She did.
Farasa has inspired as well. So you've got 2 inspired storms.
Ah, claro, no pegó desde territorio, no empezó en territorio
Not a
rival.
fan of that there. They definitely didn't like seeing Yurik go down so soon.
That's the end of my activation. And if there's anything else in the chat we want to...
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. One I think I can answer myself, which is, will the -1 damage of Standfast allow you to reduce damage from 1 down to 0? And the answer is no, you can't reduce a stat below.
Yeah.
We thought it was for a while. But we did. We played a few games where we thought it was, but no, it's not.
Yeah,
the rule
the
book later
Skaven
on.
really.
Ok, entonces el crítico no le sirvió de nada técnicamente porque igual le cae.
Same as a rule.
Well, that's a good question, and I haven't seen that in the rules at the moment, so I'm not going to answer that yet. That's the answer to that one. Let's have a quick look, shall we? It's not come up in any of our practice games so far. I don't think it is, you know. But I'm not gonna come down on that either side at the moment. I'll have a read later on and see if I come up with it.
I think that sounds sensible, doesn't it?
Okay. So, Josh, that's your 4th activation. So.
Well, so you have
Bueno,
cards.
a mí me pareció que no le hizo daño entonces, ¿ah? Porque debería haberle hecho daño, porque era un éxito contra una defensa. Ah, bueno, lo debería empujar, pero no lo puede empujar, claro.
This is only one, but there are some cards in my power deck that I would really like to see, to be honest. So,
Yeah, fair enough, man.
even
Okay,
if I
solo
keep
robo una
one card,
cartita.
it's worth it to me.
Excellent stuff. I'm still trying to read the rules to try and find that trapped. It's not obvious, so I'm not sure it is in there anymore. A lot of little things like that have been taken out of the game, just to make life easier and just make it flow a bit better. But
We'll certainly scour the index of the
Oh,
rulebook
for sure.
between plays.
Physics scour it.
Hey.
Right. That's the end of.
So yes, it is my
That-
final
your
turn
final
now,
activation,
isn't
yeah,
it?
what you got?
So, what have I got? Well, I've got some fighters left to activate. The question is, you're fairly far away.
You know it, and that was
Yeah.
absolutely on purpose.
So I'm not really going to be able to do too much here. So I'm going to activate Tick Tick,
Yep.
who is going to very subtly move up the board,
That was subtle, Josh.
getting a move token and also staying.
Ok, no me mires, yo no estoy aquí,
At this
solo
point,
estoy
if that's
paseando.
right, would you like to use the skitter ability off your card? Is that
Well-
coming now or maybe later?
I can use that after my action step, and it's got to be with a fighter who has no move or charge tokens.
Okay.
So I do have actually a fighter that can use it. And as Nick has correctly assumed, I'm going to use it on Zicket,
Yep.
who's going to skitter his way onto treasure token number 4.
Yeah, fair play, man. We knew it was coming. There it is. Excellent.
Ya. Confirmadísimo entonces que Emberstone
With that-
Sentinels es control.
Token as well, but not that it matters at all.
Of course, of
Yep.
course. With that, it will be over onto the power step.
Yes, and I have an upgrade that I am going to put down
Well,
here.
as the active player, I'll be playing,
Oh,
my,
yeah,
I'll be
you're right,
playing
go on
my
then.
card
You
first.
and your rules.
A ver,
Me
¿qué
and
más?
my
¿Qué más?
Yep.
And for this one, I will be playing the card Duelist. This is an upgrade card, and I am going to put it on Ritak.
It's a very good card.
De hecho estamos en
So
turno
this
4.
card allows
Me he
you to
equivocado.
push a fighter 1 hex immediately after they've attacked, making the agile Ritak even more agile, to be honest.
Well, in response, I have a question.
Yeah.
And
Do
it
you?
actually ties into upgrades quite nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
When you're paying glory for an upgrade,
Yes.
do the glory points get locked into the upgrade until the owner of the upgrade is removed from the board?
This is a really big change from
It
last edition,
is. Ah.
which is really good. So the way upgrades work now is that rather than spending glory as you did before by flipping glory tokens over, astute players will have noticed that on one side of the glory token it has a 5 and the other side it has a 1. So there's no spent glory or unspent glory anymore. All you simply do is make sure that the upgrades you have in play cost as much or less than the glory points you have. So Josh, having 2 glory points, can put up to 2 glory points worth of upgrades down, and he's done that. Upgrades actually have varying amount of glory on their card, right?
Yes.
Ujú.
So
Sí,
actually, some of the
la
ones-
gloria ahora se usa de manera diferente.
cost 2 to put down.
Ya no es que gastes gloria, sino que tienes
Which is really cool.
como que compras, pero es un préstamo porque a la hora que se muere lo devuelves y te regresan tu
What's interesting
gloria.
as well is that when a fighter is killed, the upgrade is discarded, right?
Yes. Freeing up that amount from your glory pool.
That's right. So you can reuse glory.
Entonces eso hace que ya no tengas que tanto
Certainly, it can really
no tengas que tener tanto miedo de usar una mejora. Ya de frente la aplicas nomás porque
well, that glory comes back
la gloria te va a regresar si es que ese se muere. Entonces ya no dice, pucha, le metí toda mi gloria a este y se murió y bueno, pues ya ni modo. No, ahora se libera un poco más la gloria. Me parece una buena mecánica.
And that means his weapons have cleave ability. That means I'll be able to ignore the shield result.
Bueno, no hay... Solamente la rueda lo tiene ahorita.
Only one that matters about is the kill wheel right now. Any more upgrades to put down?
No, I'm going to pass here, and so, well, with that,
it's the end phase. You're absolutely right. I went first, right? I can't remember. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's been a long time. I went first in the end phase. I'm going to score 2 cards here, Josh. One for denial. Which simply says there are
no hay enemigos en tu territorio. Esa es una que viene que viene desde los Domitan. Claro, que te pide 3 ataques, no exitosos. Así es que se va a 5.
Well, I'm going to let the Chaos Gods down a little bit because I actually haven't scored any of the objective cards in my
¿Nada? ¿Y teniendo 3 objetivos?
So I'm going to double down and I'm going to keep them in my hand, just drawing up with my power cards.
Yep.
Bueno. Se mantiene como underdog. No, o sea, la mejora ya no la compras, sino que digamos que tienes en tu mano, por ejemplo, ahorita Nick tiene 5 puntos de gloria y tiene en su mano mejoras. Ya bajó una mejora que cuesta 1, tiene otros 4 para usar. O sea, las mejoras que tengas en mesa tienen que igualar a la gloria que tengas acumulada. Y cuando se muere, como ya esa gloria no está en mejoras, se libera la gloria. O sea, ya no se compran, por así decirlo. Simplemente la usas y cuando se muere, regresas a tenerla.
The ones that are in the Embergard box are described in the back of the book and marks them there crucially. But yes, when you buy a new warband or you buy a new rivals deck, it'll literally say strike or take a hit on the box, which is really cool, right?
Absolutely.
Previously, before, we basically sort of buy a deck off the shelf and go, maybe it's okay with my warband, I don't know. Whereas now you know for a fact.
Ya, bueno, están hablando de nuevo de las 4 tipos de
Underworlds players who might really want to force the deck to make it work. You can still do that.
You can. What's nice as well is that there might be some confusion about the fact that you're not locked with a strike warband. You're not locked just using strike decks. You could absolutely take a strike warband and use a take and hold deck, which would really maybe
could psych out your opponent.
Exactly that, yeah. Quite cool, right? Or you could take a take and hold deck and use a strike if you want.
Sí, puede confundir un poco al comienzo, pero míralo así, o sea, ya no gastas gloria. Siempre, ¿cuánta gloria tienes? 5. ¿Cuántos puntos de mejora tienes? 4. Puedes jugar una más. Se muere algún personaje, descartas esas mejoras. ¿Cuántas mejoras tienes? 2. ¿Cuánta gloria tienes? 5. Ahora tienes 3 para usar, por ejemplo. Sí, es algo a lo que tenemos que reacostumbrarnos, pero como que te da esa libertad de poder meter de poder usar más mejoras.
Brutal is the new one that we haven't seen before, which means that you cannot use flanked or surrounded as in your save.
Ah, ok, brutal te elimina las.
There we go. Grapple's a new one too. So if a target can be driven back, they can be pushed 1 hex. You can just throw
puedes seguir al otro.
Which is pretty cool. What's really cool here as well is that before you make an attack with a weapon, you have to.
Sí, pero con mejoras de 0 puntos o 2 puntos creo que era mejor ir apartando. Sí, podría ser también que a fin de cuentas la comunidad misma decía, ¿sabes qué? Los voy gastando y cuando se van les vuelvo a dar la vuelta. Por eso es que no me gusta ese token de 1.5. Yo también prefería el token de usado y por usar. Ahí te doy la razón.
And that's it. That's how it's changed. Some of those rules will trigger on a crit, won't they? So if you've got the crit symbol, followed by the cleave symbol, it only triggers if you get a crit.
Parece que ahora ya no vas a poder tener cleave. O sea, bueno, igual no servía de nada, ¿no? Pero ahora vas a tener que jugar si tienes cleave o si tienes. Cleave o ensnare.
It is, yeah.
Means grievous, but he loses it when he just goes up to 2 damage.
Yeah, so he becomes more reliable. So we didn't get a chance to show that the crit's triggering that off, but Crits Talk's not that bothered.
Shall we carry on with Battle Round 2?
I think we shall.
Vamos al Battle Round 2.
The answers immediately?
We did have one from a while back of what's your favourite colour, which I'm assuming, Nick, is blue. Let's be honest.
It's a
Stormcast
combination.
and
It's a combination of
Ultramarines.
blue and gold,
Yeah.
certainly.
Qué raro. No, no lo creo.
I mean, if we're going into the paint range, I'm going to say Screamer Pink. I love Screamer Pink.
Great choice.
That's a really good colour. Okay,
Yeah.
but Crag blue specifically for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Although Cantor blue and Canador Sky.
Tenemos dos Stormcast vivos inspirados contra todavía los 5 Skaven
Okay, enough of this
sin
colour.
daño.
For us to
We'll get back to some more questions
smash
later
face.
on.
I'm going to make a roll off for. Oh, actually, quickly before we do, Josh, I've got 5 glory. You've got 2.
yes,
Archibald the underdog goes on your side. You are the
Yes.
underdog currently.
I am the Undergriff Hound once more.
So
Yeah.
It's time for the roll off now.
Yes, let's do
Set
it.
the bar. What you
A
got?
ver, vamos a ver qué pasa en el roll-off.
So I've got swords here, so it's
Pretty hard.
Uno de los mejores. Solo superado por crítico.
It has, and
the
I,
choice.
I think I'm actually choosing to go first in
course
the
you are,
turn
of
sequence
course
this
you are.
time.
But as you've got the choice, I will get a free power card.
You
so
certainly
thank
shall.
you very much.
Right. Oh,
While you're both making some quick decisions, there are a couple of extra questions that just came up relating to what we just talked about.
Yeah.
of course.
Are Grievous and Crit Grievous different?
Yes. Go for it.
Actually, Grievous will always
Hola, Frederick.
You just have to declare you're using it. In Crit Grievous, you need to roll a crit as part of your attack dice.
You still declare
Yeah.
using it at the start, but
Yes.
yeah, you only get it for crits.
Certainly do. Yes.
That's terrifying. It is too.
Ok, sí hay diferencia entre Grievous y Crit Grievous.
Gives you
Ok.
Grievous either for permanently or for an attack, and they are just terrifying. Anything else from the chat?
Es que este canal no es de Pokémon Go, por eso.
Reaction.
This is a really good question because
Yes.
previously we had a huge, massive chart of reaction points and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
Now we've just gone into steps within the phase. And
Yes.
It's just become a little bit cleaner language, and it's not quite as intricate as it was before. So now cards will say immediately after.
Yes.
Immediately after. For example,
Okay.
a card might say play immediately after an attack exercise.
Ya, o sea, ahora ya no es que se abra una opción de reacciones aquí, sino que la carta te dice específicamente cuándo usar, en vez de las... la pequeña tabla de conspiración que se abría por cada reacción de inspiración.
And so, but the steps have been really well defined. So actually, there's no need for the big long charts of reaction death anymore. With all the reaction steps, and it's just
Claro.
really, really clear. It makes it nice.
Ya no es opción de reacción, sino te dice cuándo específicamente se usa.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Josh, it's your first turn.
Right. So I.
Qué pena, Ramón. Pero bueno, ya igual quedará ese stream y el stream de ellos para que lo puedas disfrutar con calma, ¿no?
I'm gonna lie. I need you to fail this real bad though, would you?
Well, I'm going to charge Ritak over here, and it's going
Ooh.
to trigger one of our cards. So it's going to trigger the extra mile. Because a charge comprises of a move and an attack, we have a move within this, so we're going to trigger this and move Ritak an additional hex if it lands on a feature token.
Nice. Well done, sir.
So that's
Very
going
good.
to get nicely in range with Ardon.
Face the front, sir.
But will I be able to do any damage? That's the question.
Big question we're all asking.
Yes, we've got 2 attack dice. We're going to be hitting on hammers.
Ah, bueno, entonces disfrute señor ahí el stream. ¡Oh!
Okay, so
Bueno, crit,
we've
crit.
got Ardon.
Ardon's got 2 defense dice here, Josh. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
now inspired.
And he has rolled 2
Oh,
saves.
he's managed
Okay.
to save it.
Great example
Pero-
about how successes work now.
Yes.
We can just have a look at the dice straight here for you, Raf. So previously, in Underworlds, as it is right now, Josh's single crit would beat all of my successes. But now, a crit is simply just a success which triggers other rules, okay? So actually, I've got 2 successes beating Josh's 1. And
Pero-
not only does that mean the attack is failed, it also means Josh can't push me back because he hasn't got more successes than me. So there we go. Crits aren't dominating as much as they were before. It just makes life a bit easier all round.
So it was a great defense there from Ardon.
Yeah, he's just stood where he is, and he's not moving either. So
Certainly,
I'm gonna
it's.
put a charge token down next to Ritak though. He's
Oh
anxious.
yes, of course. He was a bit a little bit aggressive there. Yes. So I am going to move to the power step.
Oh, before you do, your duelist card says you could move him after the attack if you wanted to. Do you want to move him off the objective, Josh?
Do you know what? I think considering my deck, I'm going to even though I have the option, I'm going to keep Ritak.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitivamente,
Just where I
sí.
want them.
Emerson Sentinels
So
es
yes, it's
called
going to be
objectives.
the power step. So in this, now Ritak's moved onto that treasure token. I'd like them to settle in.
Okay.
So that's a ploy card, which is going to give Ritak or a friendly fighter on a feature token, a guard token as well.
Nice.
Making him a bit more defensible.
Settle in, Raf. You've got the deploy card for the imps. Thank you all. There we go. That is pretty good as well. So what I'm judging by this is you really want to hold objective number 3. Or treasure token number 3, sorry. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, it's all gone. It's all gone.
All right. Well,
Right.
do you have anything to play in your... well, obviously, I've played my power card.
Well, I don't actually anymore. Had you done some damage, I may well have done, but I don't.
It's going to be back to me.
Oh, actually, I think I might do, you know.
While you're thinking,
Yeah, what you got?
I've got a question
Yep.
for you. If crits are just another success, how can someone defend with a single defense dice against multiple successful attack dice?
Right, this is a really good question.
Okay,
so
see.
let's talk about this. So let's imagine that Ritak had come in and had managed to roll. What's your success? A hammer. So 2 hammers
Yes.
on the attack, right? Which is terrifying. I don't
It
know
would
very
be.
much.
Yes.
So, but I've only got one defense dice here with my imaginary Stormcast fighter.
Yes.
Lo que puedes hacer es reduces el daño.
Right.
This
So-
is huge.
This is big.
Yeah.
Because now Josh's attack is still going through because he's rolled more successes than the Stormcast Eternal has. But there's a rule now called stand fast, which I don't know. Is it on the screen right now?
I'm sorting out some.
Oh, no worries.
Skaven in the system.
It's in the system. I hope you guys can still see what's going on. Oh, great, you can still see it. Cool.
Perfect.
So, yeah, the single crit. Can they see the dice tray there, Ref?
Not at the moment.
Oh, we'll wait and we'll come back to that in a second.
We certainly shall.
In which case, I'll answer a couple of the quick
Yep.
questions. Someone's asking where you can get Archibald. You can get him direct from Warhammer.com.
You can.
Yeah, and yeah, that's.
And
Important
as Archibald
question.
is representing the underdog,
Yep.
does the underdog change during a round? Yes. Straight
Sí.
away. As soon
Sí, 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 ya lo
as
vimos.
more glory than the other player,
El underdog es se mira automáticamente cuando se busca una condición de underdog. Eso sí está.
Unlike Spearhead or Edge Sumar in that matter, in so much it does immediately change around. Right, we're back to the dice tray.
We are.
Thank you for scaving around the system. So, yeah, no, so here we go. We've got Ritak the Kill Wheel has made an imaginary 2 attacks here and got 2 successes, right? Whereas the Stormcast Eternal has managed to roll 1 crit on the defense. Now this actually triggers a rule called Stand Fast, right?
Yes.
Josh? What to do, man? Tell me about
So
it.
stand fast, because Nick has more crits than I have in his defense dice. Even though my attack
Reduce el daño en uno y no lo puedes empujar.
The attack will go through, but it's going to actually be able to reduce the damage by 1.
Which is great.
Well, to a minimum of 1, of course.
yeah.
But
A un
Ritak
mínimo.
would have dealt a mighty 3.
Down
So if
to
this was the roll, it would have only got 2 damage. Would have been all that would have went through. So
Oh.
crits are still very important.
I don't know. Settle in to come up on the screen. Ref, we need Stand Fast, please, my good man.
I don't have stand fast.
Oh, no worries. Stand
Well-
Fast is one of the core rulebook rules there, and it's in there. Basically, it's a way of activating crits as well.
No, no, no.
Really, really
No lo puedes reducir a 0. Puedes reducirlo en 1 hasta un mínimo de 1, como normalmente siempre ocurría. Para mí debería sí reducirse a 0, pero bueno.
Yes.
But no, wait, I haven't. I've rolled a success and a crit.
Yes.
2 successes, right?
And I, of course, have rolled 1 crit. Now,
Well, in this situation, you've rolled no crits. You've rolled 1 success. I'm sorry, Josh.
I can't even win a dice roll in a hypothetical.
Now, in the hypothetical situation here, the attack's going to go through and Josh will be pushed back.
Yes.
But thanks to having a single crit more than the defender, overrun means that the fighter can move on to the hex that the fighter occupied previously. If you play Blood Bowl at home, it's basically a follow-up move like in Blood Bowl.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
This is something Nick will absolutely try and demonstrate in this game.
You
I
better believe
assure
it.
you.
You better believe it. It's still a power step, right?
It is, yes.
I'm going to use a
Sí, sí. O sea, por lo menos puedes reducirlo en algo. Si es un ataque de 1, bueno, pues ya.
I'm gonna play
Es un ataque de 1. O sea, tampoco es que sea tan crítico.
I'm
Because they
actually.
step sideways.
That's genius.
Yeah,
That's genius.
there we go.
Well done, photographers. I like that. And I'm actually going to take Farasa and step her forward into this stagger hex here.
That's big.
¿Stagger?
It is big, but I'm going to get a stagger token, which is bad news. But
Ah, entonces ya no hay los de daño. Son stagger.
She's going to, well, it's better for her to attack. Also better, a little bit easier for me to attack her. So
Dale, Ramón, cuídate.
not if you're dead. Okay, anything else cards for you?
Yes, I'm going to play 1 more, which is going to be Great Speed. And this is an upgrade, and as Nick mentioned earlier, this is actually an upgrade that costs no
Ok, eso me
glory.
cambia bastante. Significa que ahora los rojos son de stagger.
To increase their move up to
Interesante.
I'm going to reply by putting an upgrade down myself, Josh. I'm going to use Duelist, the one that you've got on Ritak. It's the same
yes.
card, and it's going to go down on Farasa.
That's scary on
so
her.
she can, move after an attack. Anything else for you, sir?
No, that'll be all from me.
Right, it's time to Splatter Rat. It's my first activation, and Farasa is just going to attack. Now, I'm not too worried about the kill wheel down here. It's got a charge token on it, so it can't activate again.
That's true.
So Ardorn's relatively safe.
Yes.
Relatively speaking. At least.
Relatively speaking.
So I'm going to try and hit here with Farasa attacking into Niche. Is that Niche?
No, that's Critotok.
Yes,
You would do well to remember that.
yeah, I see. So I have got 4 attack dice with Farasa as she's inspired.
Mighty.
Okay.
And she is looking for the swords on her attack
What?
dice.
Ah, pero está buscando
There it
espadas.
goes. Eat this. And it's going to be just
Un
one
éxito.
success because you're not flanked. And
No.
I've got hammer. So one
2
success.
éxitos. 3 éxitos.
Anything for you, sir?
Well, Critotok, now inspired,
¿Qué?
has 2 dice.
¿Ya no tiene flanqueado?
To dodge here. Let's see if we can't manage it.
You can manage it.
We can
well
with a
done, sir.
crit.
And I'm not going to push you back either. Yeah, I can push you back because I've got the same number of.
Ah, está atacando con él. Ya, está atacando. Pensé que está atacando con el de abajo.
Very sensible.
Well, I can't because you got.
Hubiera tenido sentido que ataque con el de
Of
abajo.
course.
So I am going to instead
Si
use her.
tienes.
Well,
Bueno,
a bit further away from old Zicket over there. Just move a bit further back over this way, and that's Farasa done for
Perfect
now.
sense.
no, ahí sí no estoy muy de acuerdo. Ah, yo hubiera atacado con el de abajo, con un ataque de rango, teniendo asistencia. Tenía un ataque de... Claro, le daría solo 1 de daño, ¿no? Pero... Porque estás buscando con 4 dados hacer 2, pero eso lo puedes hacer después. Puedes aprovechar el que tengas ahí, le haces 1 de daño, después le pegas para rematarlo. Incluso lo puedes mandar para arriba para bloquear un poco el movimiento del otro.
Then a very easy question: are the beautiful orange and black dice from this box set? Yes, they are. They come
Sí,
from
sí lo
the
son.
They're lovely as well.
Very nice.
Los dados sí lo son.
Right, so while I don't have any power cards to play, I, with my tiny rat brain, have actually scored an objective
Well done,
after
sir, well done.
Nick's activation. I've scored the objective card step by step, because if by the end of Nick's action step, a friendly fighter with any move tokens holds a treasure token in enemy territory. This would be Ritak, and because I'm the underdog, I can actually count a charge token in this case.
Nice.
So
Ah,
I
justo lo que estaba
scored
diciendo.
an
Ok.
additional glory point.
Literally with your claws.
Yes.
Very good, sir. I like
This
it.
will surge
Se va
meaning I will
4.
draw an additional objective card.
No, se va a 3.
Right. So in that case, as we were established, we don't have power cards to play, so it's going to be over to my second turn. Activating there, I am going to... I've given Zicket a good amount of move, and I'm going to try to make good use of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to charge with Zicket hopping up
Okay.
onto objective, treasure token number 5.
Ajá.
A long time for us to change that language.
Y va a pegarle, me imagino, al que está aturdido, ¿no?
I assume going for Ardorn over here.
Yes, because Zicket's drill has quite some range on it, though dealing only 1 damage, it's still...
Claro, porque
it's good to
tiene
get
el...
damage in when we can, but
Pretty
your
good, pretty good.
fighters have a whopping 5 health
I
each.
do, yes.
Ah, tiene la asistencia, tiene sentido.
Zicket has 2 dice and is going to hit on hammers.
He's missed one.
That's exactly the
He's
opposite.
absolutely fluffy.
¡Oh, qué dolor!
I'm so sorry, man.
How very Skaven, he's scampered up there but not managed to.
Claro, por eso justamente yo hubiera pensado atacar el otro por el reroll.
And Ritak as well, both on charge tokens, your leader and the kill wheel.
Pero claro, tenía más... ¿Qué es más probabilidades? 2, 3. Yo me hubiera ido por 2 dados con reroll. Porque es como tirar 3 dados a 2 dados con éxito. Porque estás pasando, a ver, de... Son 2, 50% por 50 por 50, como que... No, más del 50%. Yo me iría por 3 dados. El equivalente a 3 dados.
You'll just have to settle with beating him up.
I might just have to do that. I have no other cards to play here, Josh. Anything else for you?
No, I'll be passing here next, so it'll be over on.
Vale, punto 5 por punto 5 por punto 5. Tienes con 87 probabilidades de pegarle al otro. Y 2 dados con 4 lados. Vendría a ser 2 sextos, 1 tercio por 1 tercio, 66% de éxito. No, yo me iría, como digo, el 87 de todas maneras. Ya, no hay nada que hacer. No hay nada que hacer.
So
Vale,
she'll
tiene un
have
crítico. Por más que tire un crítico, que empatan en críticos y ya es. Ah, no, bueno, podría tirarlo para que no lo pueda. Eso mismo, para que no lo pueda empujar. Si lo empuja, no lo puede seguir.
So I can't push you back, but you are taking 2 points of Stormcast damage.
I am, and as you folks at home will
Claro, son
remember, we Skaven, we like to see the other Skaven getting hurt instead of us. So, in this case, I'm going to inspire Nitch, our friend on Treasure Token 2.
Yep, there he is over there. I'll have to kill him later. That is the now that left Ritak the kill wheel on 2 health remaining. Okay.
Yes. We do have, because a couple of things resolved actually after Nick's attack,
Yep.
I do have another card to resolve.
A ver.
So, in this case, because the target of the attack was Ritak, I score the objective card unassailable. So this is, I score this immediately if after an enemy fighter attacked a friendly fighter who's holding a treasure token.
Very good, sir. Very good.
So, by being on the defense, I've managed to...
Y no dice que tiene que sobrevivir.
I'm still the underdog, though, which I don't really mind.
Sure. All right. I think it's time. Is anything in the power step?
Well, it's your your power step. So anything from you?
Nothing from me at the moment, actually.
And it's going to be nothing from me.
So,
Well,
what you got,
in
man?
your power step, I have some questions.
Yeah.
Something from chat, though.
Yeah, there's some quick questions. Is the game still 3 rounds? Yeah, it's exactly 3. More questions about returning warbands. Again, keep an eye on Warhammer community for anything about those. You know, we have some questions
No los van a
about,
decir.
undead factions being discarded in terms of losing some of the upgrades they might have on them. But again, we'll know more when it comes out to Warhammer community.
Sure.
And then we've been asked about drawing an extra power card. If you don't have the initiative, that does happen every single battle.
Yeah.
It's not just
It's not even if you don't. So it's if you win the dice roll,
Yes.
your opponent gets the free draw of a card,
Yeah.
regardless of. I could win the dice roll.
Choose for me to go first, and I would still draw the card because I didn't make the decision.
Yeah, it's choice or card, isn't it? Choice or card.
Mhm.
All right.
Ah,
Is it time for? I can't remember. Is it your turn?
It will
must
be,
yours,
yes.
yeah.
It will be
sorry, I
yours.
distracted you.
No, it's
from
fine.
the power step.
That's fine. That's what we're here.
que ese es
Not a
algo
problem at all. So,
fuerte. Ah, no es que vaya segundo, es que no ganaste el rol. Eso como que te obliga prácticamente el primero.
Run away.
Josh,
So, with
you're
a move,
so on brand. I love it.
with a move action, he's going to scamper into enemy territory.
Yeah, fair. Okay. I think I know what you're trying to do here, and I don't like it. 'Cause I reckon.
Quiere llegar abajo.
I'm going to come scampering over here in a minute. I reckon.
You
I know what
reckon
you're doing.
you wouldn't,
Yeah, I reckon
you
good.
wouldn't
I reckon
claim
good.
to know
It's going to
what
lay a
Tick Tick was
spicy
thinking.
explosive on the ground.
Okay. Well, so time
For my power step, and I am going to pass here.
Ooh, are you now? As will I, actually. As will I. Because I've got killing some kill wheel on my mind. Is there anything else for you to do here before we go on to my third activation?
Yes, I am going to, as you might have reminded me, play Agile onto Return. This is an upgrade card, and it will give me an additional. Well, it will give me a chance.
¡Dos! ¡A la miércoles!
I feel like I'm going to need it.
You've got 3 glories worth of upgrades down, even though you've got a 0 glory upgrade as well. 'Cause
Absolutely.
That Agile is worth 2.
It
It's
is.
super good. Right.
Fairly spicy.
Talking of spicy, it's time for my third activation, and
It
I'm going
is.
to have Farasa. She's going to charge in. She's not got a token at the moment. She's going to charge in, Josh. 1, 2 to here, and try and strike down your kill wheel.
You'd never.
In the name of Sigma. She's got
12 de
4
daño.
attacks. If you can look at the inspired side of Farasa, please, Raf. She come on the card. Have it, please.
Yep.
Se inspira otro. Creo que se va a inspirar otro Skaven.
She's mighty and she's fighty.
So good. Okay, so she's going to be having 4 attacks using the top melee profile here. And she needs swords. Now, because you are flanked, you have another model who's adjacent to you.
I do.
The half support result will work too. So here we go. And I've managed to roll a crit and a success, or indeed 2 successes as it's called now. 2 successes there, my good man. What have you got to answer that?
So, because I do only have the 1 save dice, it's
El crítico.
tricky here, and it is
It
not a
is-
success
it
here.
is a success because you have a guard token.
Oh,
on
of
you.
course, yes, because of my guard token.
But,
However,
yeah, dude, that's not great because she's going to do 2 damage, and I reckon
Ciao.
I've slain me a kill wheel.
absolutely.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I guess we never really thought about the kill part of the kill wheel. I think it's actually
It's
turned out to
gone.
be
Yep.
on me.
Yeah, it's dead. And as I can't drive you back because you're dead, so, but I am going to overrun as I had a crit in there as well. Just going to put that onto the objective like so. Taking the objective from you, rat.
You have.
And Josh, God, that wasn't enough.
Oh no.
This
Those are glory.
objective card is a strong start. It is, I believe, the first kill of the battle round.
It is this round.
So yeah, so strong start says I score that one. It's back for those who remember it. I love strong start. So what was the bounty on the kill wheel?
2 más 1, 3. Se vas a 8.
3 glory kill thanks to strong start. So that's put me on 8 glory to your
With
4.
the surge as well.
With the surge, yes. So I'm going to redraw that card straight away. Well done, Farasa. Earning yourself a charge token, but I reckon that was well worth it. Okay.
Ya, justo así decir,
Alright,
faltaba
Josh.
el charge.
That's the end of that. It's time then for the
Not in the
house
chat
deck.
is calling it the killed wheel.
It is the killed
That's
wheel.
what I mean. It's
Yeah.
we didn't really specify who was going to get the kill
It's
there, did we?
literally a flat tire. Right.
Ok.
No cards for me in the power step. Nothing for you.
Nope, it's going to
La
be,
veo bien difícil que le dé la vuelta ahora a
That was
los,
my observation.
los psíquicos,
Oh,
¿ah?
yeah.
Porque están con 8 de gloria, están vivos e inspirados.
the sneaky.
¿No tendría que inspirarse uno de ellos?
I saw it coming. Yeah.
Move up here.
Okay, for
Getting
reasons, I'm sure.
For sneaky reasons,
Uh-huh.
which will now be revealed.
Okay, go for it, man. What you got?
I have scored an objective card here, and that's going to be Careful Advance.
Very good, sir. Very good.
So, as you can see, I score this immediately after a friendly fighter moves if 2 or more friendly fighters have move tokens in enemy
that's really
territory.
good. It's a
Okay.
nice, easy card to score that one from, actually. Although it does mean, of course, they can't charge.
It does,
but
yes.
Maybe it's not what you need. But in the first battle round, it's great. Well, we're in the second battle round now, aren't we? So still
We
good.
are, yes. And it was my final fighter to activate, so it does surge me into another objective, which we might have a chance of getting. We will see.
Okay, so it's time for the power step. Any cards to play, sir?
No, there will be no power cards played from me.
Okay.
Ya, nada de cartas por ahí.
To have my fourth and final activation. I've got a sneaky suspicion, Josh, that you having Zicket on that objective or the treasure token in the centre of the table is a really good thing for you.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think. But I also think that getting anywhere near him is going to be problems. I don't like it very much. Here I'm going to make a charge with Ardorn.
Ah.
Okay, but I'm not going to go for Zicket because I think he's going to be more of a tough character to deal with. Instead, I'm going to use a surge ploy here in reaction to his charge move that I'm about to declare, called Wings of War, giving me +2 to my move. So this card basically says
Correr hasta arriba.
a charge is part of a move.
Well, move is part of a charge.
Indeed, both the same situation. So I'm going to use that now and charge 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, going to go over to here. 5, right there. Is that too,
Some
is
real.
that too far?
That's some real God King's lightning speed there.
Literally. He's going to charge there and try and take on Nitch.
On Nitch.
Because I reckon he's a bit easier. He's not actually easier. He's got the same defense dice, but I want to take him down. Josh, here it comes. I am going to hit him with my
A ver, vamos a ver qué pasa.
hitting you on hammers.
Is this the end?
Martillos, martillos.
Hammers it is. And he's got nothing at all.
Uno.
Nothing.
Zero
Ah,
successes
martillo,
with a short
cero.
one. He's probably knackered after he ran that.
Well, I was going to say, he did
Yeah.
absolutely close the distance across the board.
Mitch very good at attacking there.
Yeah, no, never mind. That was a good effort, but it didn't quite work.
Fue un buen esfuerzo del líder.
Activation. I've no power cards to play, Josh. So, what about you, sir? It's onto. I believe it's onto the last power
Yes.
step. Any cards?
No, I've no power cards left to play.
So it's,
Do you have a quick question for you though, Josh? Were you able to inspire someone after Ritak's death?
Ajá.
Ah,
That was the third
oh no,
point of damage.
yeah, it's
That
Zicket,
is
isn't it?
very true. In all of the in all of scrambling to survive, I might have forgotten about that. So thank you, chat. The only fighter I fancy inspiring here is it's probably got to be Zicket.
Not
hasn't
Tick
it?
Tick the Rat.
Tick Tick is inspiring, definitely, at least to me. But Zicket, definitely as the boss, he's not going to
Claro.
let it go any further before he is inspired.
All right, dude. In that case, that is the end of the power step and the last.
Ahorita me está diciendo, ¿no se olvidó de inspirarlo?
Phase, I
It
believe.
is, yes.
You were the player that went first, so it's over to you. What have you got?
Indeed. So I'm going to score some points this time. I'm going to score Supremacy. Because I score this in an end phase if 2 or more friendly fighters with a total bounty characteristic of 3 or more hold treasure tokens.
I was that close to knocking him off the objective. Oh, if Ardorn just hit once, I'd have got him in. Oh, let down.
So that actually scores me a massive 3 glory.
Very good.
Uf.
Does
So
that
it's,
Empieza a dar la vuelta.
already
well,
drawn?
We're now tying. Well, it depends if Nick has of course,
Well, we'll see.
scored any
We'll see. We'll see in a moment.
dastardly
Archibald's coming.
deeds.
What, you're going to discard any cards, redraw back up?
I'm actually fairly keen on. I'm fairly keen on these ones, so I might keep them. I'll just draw up.
Fair enough, sir.
¿Y no tenía un search para puntuar con la ratita?
It's choice time for the Stormcast Eternals here. You've got 4 miniatures left on the board.
I do.
And I have got a gigantic power objective card in my hand, which I've not scored, but I'm going to discard it. Annihilation, Raph, you can get that on the screen, is back in the game.
5, pues.
It says I've got to try and destroy all of your fighters.
Claro, todos con 2.
I really struggle to do that.
La veo bien, yo también la veo bien difícil. O sea, si hubieran podido matar en el primer turno, ¿no? Pero no.
I'm going to keep hold of... Oh, I maybe keep hold of this one. You've lost, what, just 1 fighter currently?
I have, just at the moment.
Okay, I'll keep hold of this one, and I'll keep hold of that one as well. I've got some glory to put down upgrades here. I'm going to put the tough upgrade down onto Ardorn. No more than 3 damage can be inflicted on this fighter in the same turn, which is cool.
Absolutely.
2 glory
Massive 2 glory upgrade.
Eso va a estar fuerte, ¿eh? Aunque las ratitas tampoco pegan más, así es que lo está poniendo por las puras. Siento. La que explota puede que haga más daño, pero creo que no.
It is. It's currently a draw going into the final battle round.
3, 4, 5. So there we go. Excellent. Before we start the next battle round, is there anything from the chat?
Yeah, we've got some questions. Do the dice symbols for roll-off still work the original way, i.e. crit, half support, full support, etc.?
No, they've slightly changed it around. So if you head to the dice tray, Ref, so the crits win all, of course. Oh, he's done it there. There we go. That's
Espada
the
le
roll.
gana.
Cheers, Raf. So the only change there is that the full support beats the single support, and that's really something that's been done for newer players because it's got 2 things on it, not 1 thing. So it should be.
And a related one from a while back is how is first player determined for round 2 and 3? In exactly the same way, it's a roll off of 1 dice.
It is a roll off. Crucially, though, if it's a draw in the roll off, the underdog wins that roll off. So it's a nice little bonus for the underdog.
Yeah.
Nice. Then we've got another bit of a throwback question from a while ago. Does stand firm not also cancel pushback? It does as well.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
At that point, we're just talking about how it reduced
Sí,
damage.
sí, sí. Se habían olvidado de comentar eso, que no solamente es que te redujo uno el daño, sino que tampoco te pueden empujar. Tengas o no tengas guardia.
I like to think that the Skaven are all one big unhappy family.
Terrifying image.
And then a final one, just for some clarity. Josh and Nick are using mixed decks. Are they playing Nemesis? They're not. These are both the Rivals decks as they come out of the box.
Exactly that. Yeah,
Open
the decks from there. Not just shuffle them up and just played. So this is the Rivals format we're playing today.
For sure.
All right. How are we doing for time, Ed? We doing all right?
Yeah, you've got plenty of time to go. About halfway through.
All right, cool. In that case, we've got loads of time to spend in the last battle
Of
round.
course, and it could be epic.
Y la última normalmente es la más lenta, así es
Well,
que...
I might interrupt you with some more.
Please
as we go
do.
on.
Yes, of course.
Any more before we
certainly.
start off?
Will there be more deck options upon release aside from 4 in the core box?
Buena
Again,
pregunta.
you'll have to head to Warhammer Community to find out more and just keep an eye out on what's
We have
coming up.
definitely said that there's going to be more decks coming in the future.
No,
That's all we know for now.
Yeah.
no lo habían dicho.
Does everything come together in a box, or do you have to buy stuff separately? Well, everything you've seen today is all in the one box, in addition to a couple of extra Rivals decks as well.
Yeah. So you get a nice amount of stuff within the Embergard box to kind of switch it up, find your playstyle.
No era la pregunta que te hicieron, pero bueno.
With which warbands.
Yeah, it's a really nice box actually for a core game to
De
come.
pronto se va a ver más cajas.
One final question, which is actually a little bit meta-based, which means
Ooh.
it's probably changed
Here we
because
go.
we're in a new
Here we
edition.
go.
This is from right at the start of the stream, and I was seeing if it might change a bit as we went along. Will there be anything to offset the increase in bounty, tilting the meta towards aggro decks?
It's a good question, and lots of people have been talking about whether aggro decks are super better now because, of course, the board, the layout of the board now
Yo lo dije.
is really helping fighters get into the action. And what the designers wanted to do here was just make sure we put the war in the Warhammer, right? Currently, you might have played games before, guys. And
I've been longboarded.
And I know you you might have been longboarded where the boards instead of being set up like this were set up like this. And it was just a really long board.
Yes.
It actually took a long time to get into combat. And you'd often have games, and I've done it myself before, regrettably, where you just sit at the back and do nothing and score glory by doing nothing, right?
Let's see.
This new board setup puts the Warhammer back in Warhammer and makes you get into combat. Now, some people have sort of suggested that maybe that makes aggro or strike warbands better now because everyone's straight into combat. But at the same time, it also means that the objectives will be much more reachable as well by the take and hold decks. And there's other mastery decks as well we haven't seen too.
Sí, pero un take and hold contra un agro significa que estás más expuesto. Yo sí.
I've got to say that while that'll probably be a fairly, simplistic sort of look at it, we've got to remember there are going to be plenty of different decks that are going to be coming out supporting plenty of different playstyles.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bueno, ya.
Raf, can you
Reconfirman que van a haber varios decks.
uninspired card for me? A random thing to ask, but there's a reason for this. Now let's have a look at Niche. This is a Skaven sort of generic small minions type fighter from the game. And if this was in the previous edition of the game, he'd be 2 health, right?
Yes.
Because they all were 2 health at that size. Now he's 3 health, which means actually
Sí, está bien cerrado. Están en la última 8 puntos nomás. Como que ya se pareciera que las partidas esas de 15, 16 van a estar bien difíciles. Ah, no hay grande, ¿verdad? Bueno, técnicamente ahí no hay.
It's going to take a bit longer to actually kill. You're going to get very few one-hit kills from full health down to no health in this game.
Ya, sí, o sea, el daño a las armas más o menos se mantiene y les han subido un poquito de vida. Sí, sí, ahí sí les doy la razón. Pero igual, o sea, una banda agro justamente es agro porque está diseñada para matar. Entonces...
You can see very well with this Skaven warband that me taking damage actually makes me a bit better. So
if your models die, you get better. That sounds like my kind of warband.
Bueno, pero ese es un caso puntual de ellos. No es que todas las warbands van a ser así. O sea, no todas las warbands se van a inspirar por recibir daño.
The designers have ensured that there's roughly an equal amount, roughly within a few glories of each other, amount of glory available in each warband.
Yes.
So previously, before, you might run into, I don't know, the Loon Court or some Sepulchral Guard and just murder them all and harvest the glory. But now, all of them have roughly the same glory no matter what it is.
Because these are both worth 7, aren't they?
They are.
Is that right? So
yes,
let's
they
have a look.
are.
So 3, 2, 5, 7. Yes. So 7 glory, even though you've got 5 fighters. So it's not that favorable to an aggro warband, and if I lose a fighter myself, if I get stuck into combat and lose fighters, I start
pero estás hablando de un... O sea, dicen, no es tan favorable, pongamos tenemos 7, ya, pero yo te mato tus 7 y tú como hold no puedes hacer nada más. Mientras que si yo soy de golpear incluso con 1, todavía puedo seguir cumpliendo mis objetivos. O sea, ya pues.
You've been playing the Underworlds, right?
I did attack for all 12 actions in for 12 turns in one game and only hit twice.
So that's good, but at the same time, if you go for a flex or a take and hold deck or a mastery deck, you can control it a bit more and score the more reliable glory. So I don't think the fear mongering of
Yo ahí sí no estoy de acuerdo. Justo como digo, yo sí siento... Pero está bien, o sea, porque sí, efectivamente había mucho control y eso está tirando... Yo siento que está tirando más para agro. Un poquito más rápido, diría.
Our games have been about an hour long apiece.
Yes,
when
they
we've been
have,
playing the
yeah.
game, but we've been sort of like reading the cards as we go along.
Absolutely.
So I think about the same amount of time as it would be.
Yeah.
Yo hasta me atrevería un poquito más rápido.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Porque el setup también es más rápido.
Now, if we just jump on up, I have got some all saved up, but we'll never get the third back round to start.
Yeah, okay,
The
right.
suspense will be killing
We'll come
everybody.
back to more as we go
So
on.
it's time for the roll-off for battle round 3,
It
the
is.
last battle round.
We're both
and
tied, so it's
no
down to
underdog.
the dice.
So here we go.
And no one
Sí,
can move on.
en ese sentido tiene razón Alfonso, no se siente muy diferente
It's a statement.
al de siempre. O sea, hay pequeñas cositas, hay
Informative new edition being watched live.
Is Nick
No.
the king of
No,
Underworlds?
no
pequeños
one told me that
ajustes,
at all.
Nobody
etc.
told me.
I'm the court jester, maybe perhaps at the very least. Here we go.
Right.
And it's a crit for me. That's a great roll.
Listo, se acabó.
It's not a crit for me.
Maybe I am the king of Underworld. No.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon.
So the Stormcast Towns have got the option to go first. Josh, of course, that means you get a free power card.
Extra card for me.
Even if
Automáticamente.
you go first, which I'm not gonna, because I want to kill some rats. Wouldn't you?
I can kill rats either way, but I trust you.
Okay, so I am going to take the first turn here, Josh. What do I do? So I am going to... It's time to not think about it at all. It's time to be a heroic Stormcast Eternal. As Ardorn, the leader of the Embergard,
Va a pegarle al
lash
medio.
out with his Azurite hand axe and chop little Niche in half over on Treasure
Oh,
Token.
no!
He's gonna kill him dead. Right, I've got...
Pelear no es el que está abajo. Ah, no, el líder es el que está hasta arriba.
Certainly does.
Here we go. For Sigma. It's one success.
One success. Right, so you're telling me there's a chance. Nitch has 2 dice, needing to dodge.
Just fail it.
And he has to dodge once.
Now, of course, I got a crit and you got a dodge. I'm going to drive you back
Empuja y lo sigue.
and follow up onto it with the overrun rule because I've got more crits than you. So I'm taking that back off you, rat.
You certainly are.
And it's time then for the power step. Unless you have anything else to interrupt after action phase?
No.
So,
It'll be power step.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 upgrades worth of glory down at the moment. So I'm going to put Great Fortitude down, and this is a card that's going to give +1 health.
Claro.
And I genuinely don't know who to give it to. It could either be
Al líder.
the leader.
No, al líder. Al líder de todas maneras.
You could adorn him with an upgrade.
¿Quién más se lo quieres dar? Dáselo al líder, brother.
I'm going to roll a dice. if it's a hammer or a crit, it's going on Ardorn. And it's going on Ardorn. There we go. Okay, so Ardorn gets Great Fortitude. Josh, anything for you?
Era al líder de todas maneras. O sea, el otro pata está bien lejos de los demás. Al líder le caen ahorita con furia.
I'm going to put that on Zicket.
Nicely done. Me, I'm going to put the upgrade
Y lo pone de vuelta en el otro.
for Rasa. Now this means that she can't be flanked or surrounded. I'm imagining I'm about to get surrounded by rats,
Bacán.
so that's going down on her to maybe help her out.
O sea, quita los... Sí hay forma de quitar a los dados de lo que era antes los dados de asistencia.
It's going to be healing potion. I'm going to heal Zicket, putting him back up to full health.
Very good, sir. This card in particular is really nice. We can just keep on the screen for a second, Raph, because healing potion used to be you'd roll a dice and get a second heal, but now that only applies if you're the underdog, so it's a nice little benefit.
Pero con underdog con una tirada de dados de todas maneras.
Right. Anything else, sir?
Nope, I think that's going to be all good with me. So
in that case, it is your first activation, your first turn, sorry.
Right, and I'm going to activate Nitch, who's just kind of a bit grateful to be alive right now.
Anda, vas a cargar Nitch.
Hopping over onto treasure token 4, he's going to throw one of his explosive contraptions at the newly adorned Ardorn.
Well, you like this?
We do.
Okay, go from here.
So, with 3 dice, needing hammers.
Oh, it's a really good 2 successes.
No creo, no creo que la haga. Oh, es un daño nomás.
I've saved neither.
Well, find yourself taking 1 damage.
I will indeed. Just the 1? Okay.
Just the 1.
I'll live with that for now.
But that's not all. I will be scoring an objective card. I'm going to score Aggressive Defender. Think about that for a moment. Score immediately after a friendly fighter's attack if the attacker is holding a treasure token.
Bien.
Very good, yeah.
So that's going to score me 1 objective, and it's going to make you, Nick, the underdog.
Por primera vez le da la vuelta a la partida. Yo no pensé que iba a poder,
Okay, is there anything else I want to do?
While you're just having a quick think, I've got some questions I can answer. There's been a few more questions about deck building, Rivals versus Nemesis format. Currently we're playing Rivals, so both players have
un solo deck
for their Rivals deck. There is some crossover between cards where there's the same card in
That's
deck.
right, yeah.
Sí.
Anything else about deck building will be online on Warhammer in the future.
O sea, no nos van a decir nada más que por ahora están jugando con Rivals, que es un solo deck, y si hay cartas compartidas. Porque ambos tenían Great Fortitude, o sea, ya no hay cartas exclusivas de un solo deck. Como que el Essential se ha distribuido entre los que hay.
So Alone I Stand is actually once per battle round, so it's not all a one use only per warband.
I just haven't had to use it yet. I've liked being still on my
Se olvidó de usarlo.
No, it stood there quite nicely. But yeah, sorry, Raph, just bring that one up again. So the War Scroll cards, most of them are one use per game, and the little circle on the side there is for you to put a token on to sort of move it on.
Claro, nada, lo que habíamos supuesto, ¿no? Que el token ahí es para que te indicas que ya lo usaste, porque la mayoría van a hacer un solo uso.
Background, a bit of flavor to your warband on these War Scroll cards by putting them in, and I think I might be about to use one very soon, Josh, if I have my way. Have you got any cards to play in your power step?
Yes, I'm going to play an upgrade card here, and it's going to go on Zicket. It's called Inviolate. This means this fighter cannot be flanked or surrounded while they hold a treasure token. So this means it's going to be a bit of a tricky time for you to gang up on Zicket.
That's exactly what I planned on doing. Okay.
I'm sure you still will, as the God King's chosen, of course.
Así que, claro, al líder ya no lo pueden flanquear.
Okay. All right. Time then for... I've no cards over here, actually, Josh. Anything for you, mate?
No, I'll pass back to you.
Right. It's time for my second activation. It's time for some more Stormcast Heroics.
Ok, vamos a la segunda.
Have not been too good tonight. Nitch has got away from me over here, so actually I'm going to take Ardorn, my leader, and make another charge action with... do I have what I want to do? Yeah, let's do it.
Sí, vamos, vamos.
1, 2, hit. I'm going to hit him in the face.
Nitch just can't
Claro, pues,
get away.
al otro no le puedes... Tú mismo lo ofreciste, pues si le pones a uno se va a ir por el otro.
So I'm going to play the Surge Ploy Twist the Knife.
Oh dear.
Here. So my weapon has Grievous for this attack.
That does not sound
I'm going to use
good.
my Azurite hand axe and then twist it inside Nitch's, hopefully, carcass.
I mean, you do have to hit first.
Oh, well, that is a point, yes.
Yeah, let's not forget that.
Grievous, ok.
Come on,
Appreciate it.
Nitch.
So actually, here's an interesting thing here that thanks to the Sharpened Point upgrade, I've got the Cleave ability.
Yes.
And thanks to Twist the Knife, I've got the Grievous ability. But I can only choose one of those two.
Yes.
I'm going to go for Grievous.
I
damage.
I know, right?
had
More-
kind of imagined.
Más daño, de todas maneras.
Hitting on hammers.
Let's see what we got.
It's one success.
One.
Ardorn, you've let me down.
¡Qué dolor!
Nitch, that slipperiest of characters.
Eso es una diferencia muy grande. Solo puedes escoger una habilidad para tus armas.
His life on the line.
He's dodged again.
He's
Oh,
managed
dodged
it not
again.
only once, he's dodged twice.
And crucially, Josh, because you got more successes than I rolled in my attack, I can't even push you back either. So he stood there on that treasure token, and I can't kill him.
Here I stand.
I'm so sad about this. So sad. Stormcast turns live. Never mind. So it's time for the power step, and I don't think I've got any cards to play. I haven't. No, have you, Josh?
I actually am going to play another upgrade card. It's going to be called Brute Momentum.
Nice.
It's also going to go on Zicket. This means this fighter cannot be driven back while they have any charge tokens, which may give astute viewers at home a clue as to what I'm going to do next.
Oh, no.
Sí.
I don't like it. All right. I've got nothing else to play here. Oh, how have I?
Va a cargar con la ratita de abajo.
Zicket's about to attack Ardorn, isn't he? Obviously he is.
He might.
Okay, now's the time. I'll take a draft of the healing potion and I'll put Ardorn healing. As I'm the underdog, I could have healed the fighter for 2. Ardorn's only got 1.
Pero solo tiene un daño.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably wise to make sure he's at full health before
think
this
so.
big rat comes in. So that's that. Anything else for you?
No, I think that's all from me. So it'll be over to my second activation.
Yeah, anything from
A
chat
ver.
before we head into this?
Yeah,
course.
Reciban una
there's obviously a thing about
miércoles.
terminology changing. What is flanked and surrounded?
Great question. So flanked and surrounded, it used to be single support and double support.
Yeah.
The same as it was.
La han
Flanked
cambiado
is
para que se entienda
dice
mejor.
and,
Oh yeah, just
surrounded
come on
is
the
standard
dice tray if we can, Raf.
Or if you've got a pop up for it, Raf.
Oh yeah, that
there
would
you
do
go.
as well.
There you go. So that is flanked and that is surrounded. As it was before, if you have one enemy model.
Lo mismo con una mejor una terminología más entendible. Me parece muy bien. Rodeado y flanqueado y rodeado. 1 o 2.
Indeed.
Me parece perfecto.
Then this one I think we need to have a bit of a dive into the question itself.
Okay.
After a charge, does being able to shoot mean any attack or only 3+ range attacks? So I think the question here is more
That's a
about
good-
how do range attacks work after charging.
Yes.
That's a really good question. So, first of all, the designers have actually split attacks into specifically melee and ranged attacks. Can we bring up Ardorn's fighter card, please, Raf, on the screen? There we go. So you can see here on Ardorn's fighter card at the bottom there, the little symbol with the crossed weapons means a melee attack, and the bow means a ranged attack. And different rules cards will key off that. They might say add +1 strength or +1 damage to a melee attack. Or
Ya.
add 1 range to a ranged
Quiero que termines de explicar el
attack.
cambio.
Point differentiation.
No lo había escuchado al comienzo.
Still use a ranged weapon as a charge, so you can still move Ardorn 3 hexes and then use his ranged attack to give him a threat range essentially of 6 hexes.
Sí.
That's not a problem at all. So yes, you can charge and use a ranged attack, but crucially, the melee and ranged have been differentiated out and make stuff really clearer as well, which is really cool. Right, that's
Creo que esa no fue la pregunta.
Josh, you got some killing on mind?
I will be. I've got some charging on mine, and Zicket, as some folks at home might have guessed, is going to charge into
It's a
Ardorn.
real
Pensé que la pregunta era si podía
has flanked Ardorn, and we'll get
atacar o si podía usar, solo podía usar rango después de cargar. Eso fue lo que yo entendí.
Still be using the damage 1 profile here, but it's just kind of to control my side of the board.
Yep.
We need hammers.
And he's only
And
got
we
one.
managed
Dos.
to- Well, of course I'll get
Oh,
the...
it's two for flanked, of course.
Exactly, yes.
I was excited before my time there. But fear not, my Sigmarite plate armor shall hold true, and I will roll 2 saves. No, I won't.
No, pero tienes el
Roll
crítico.
success. But, Josh, I've got the crit. I've got more crits than you.
Absolutely.
I stand fast.
Yes.
And as a result, you can -1 off the damage that would be coming through.
Yes, which, as we mentioned before, the damage from this attack is only 1. So in this scenario, it's just going to stick as 1.
It is 1, and I won't be pushed back either as a result of that too,
Yep.
which is pretty cool.
So that's pretty decent.
All right.
Okay, so it's over to the power step. And I'm going to play another upgrade, just doing a quick count to make sure I've got... Yes, I do have enough glory. You know, sometimes you can get
A ver
a bit
cuánta
zealous.
gloria tienes.
I'm going to play a very accurate upgrade. It's called Stubborn to the End, and it's going to go on Niche. I think that's a fairly narrative card to play right now. So if this character is attacked, they cannot be overrun. And I think that just really represents Niche's fighting spirit, you know, or more dodging spirit.
Justamente lo que acaba de pasar ahorita es lo que había comentado Ramón. O sea, después te vas a terminar equivocando. ¿Cuántos puntos tengo? Vas a tener que estar contando en vez de simplemente ver cuántos tengo disponibles y después dándole la vuelta. O sea, no... Como que ahí sí creo que se quedaron un poquito. Más fácil era mantener el sistema. Renuévalo, pero los tokens anteriores le das la vuelta y lo regresas.
Yes.
In my third activation, I'm going to focus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decide to discard some cards. I can just choose to discard as many as I like from my entire hand, both power and objectives.
Get rid of them all.
No! I'm going to keep my power card.
That's
but
the intrusive voice of our host.
I'm definitely going to get rid of Strike the Head, Raf. That's a card that I'm absolutely not going to be able to score. If you want to show that on the screen.
Eso, por ejemplo, me gustaría ver las reglas que dice. Si tengo que enseñar las cartas que estoy descartando o solo lo están haciendo para el stream.
I don't think I can do it. Fields of Blood is the other one I'm going to get rid of there as well, because 4 or more fighters, crucially not just enemy fighters, are damaged or slain, but that's a big ask right now. At this
No.
I've not done too much damage. And,
Tienes
I'm going to
2 muertos.
last one called, well, I'm not
Well,
Ah, es que todo el daño se lo mandó a
There's
uno.
a villain there revealed your
My
master
evil
plan.
fan.
Son 3.
I have been
Te faltaba
playing
uno.
bad guys this week.
Yes.
So, I'm going to ditch those 2 objective cards. Now, the focus ability allows me to...
Y la ratita se va a suicidar. O sea, lo ibas a...
in my
Ya,
deck,
bueno, ya.
and
Su
additionally,
estrategia.
a free power card as well.
Nice.
It's a really nice way of just like refreshing your hand if you've got cards you can't use. Okay, there we go. That's my focus done. That's instead of doing anything with one of my fighters. It's time then for Josh.
The power step.
The power step. Yes,
Yes, of course, because you might have drawn something fairly,
Not
fairly
that I want to
spicy.
use. Not at the moment. No.
Of course.
Estamos a punto de terminar. Y parece... Yo no pensé que los Skaven la hacían. ¿Eh? Les perdí la fe, la verdad les perdí la fe.
Of course.
It's a ploy. It's called Switch Things Up, in which I can pick 2 treasure tokens and swap the positions of them.
Nice.
So I'm actually going to say that Farasa holds treasure token number 2,
Oh, you swine.
and Zicket holds treasure token
Yeah,
number
you're doing
3.
your rap.
Yes, I was going to say, surely.
I guess that's probably telegraphing what's in your hand, but I imagine
Who
that's...
can ever be sure?
Please tell me you're going to score treasure 3 in battle round 3 in turn 3.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be kind of mad, wouldn't it?
Okay, so cards for me, you see. Well, not at the moment. No, not yet. Anything for you, sir?
Nope, I'll pass.
So it's your third activation.
It is indeed.
La ratita.
And this is going to be a fairly tricky one here. We've got to be in lots of places, but there are lots of aggressive Stormcast. So what we're going to do is, for now, activate Critatalk. Does Critatalk think that they can take Farasa in one-on-one combat? Absolutely not. So, like any proud Skaven, not that one exists, he's going to move over onto treasure token number 1.
I'm going to kill that Skaven dead because I know what's in your hand, or I suspect what's in your hand. Okay. That's what actually, Jenny. Actually, let's have a quick stop there. One of the nicest things about the Rivals format is, and especially with the Universal decks. Previously, you had all the faction decks, and there were thousands of cards. And unless you played that warband all the time, you didn't. You know, you might not know.
Sí, eso es algo que también estoy de acuerdo. O sea, como ahora son más universales, es mucho más abierta la información.
you actually have a better idea what's in your opponent's deck.
Yes.
Now, I've played against the Emberstone Sentinels decks, both you and other players in the office as well, quite a few times, and I know what's in that deck. So I'm suspecting from what you're doing, what you've
Al
got,
menos
and
para,
it's gonna make you
para Rivals. Pero vamos a ver qué pasa en Nemesis. ¿Cuántos decks son en Nemesis? Porque ahí ya es un poco... Si es que son todos los decks, 4 decks, 3 decks... Espero que sean 3. Ya es un poco más... Porque si no están diciendo que son 2, significa que Rivals va a tener... Nemesis, perdón, va a tener más de 2 decks. Porque si no, no tendría por qué no lo diría. Probablemente sean todos. Probablemente Nemesis sea el nuevo Championship. Lo que yo apunto es que Nemesis va a ser el nuevo Championship.
I'm passing in the power step, so I think it might be.
If I could jump in with a quick question.
Oh, yes.
How many cards are in a deck?
Oh, so Rivals decks...
20 y 12.
You know this one?
Ooh, it's going to be
Go on.
36.
No, 32.
Ah.
So it's 12 objectives, 10 upgrades, and 10 glories.
You're correct.
Claro.
36 is how many teeth Zicket has. Yeah, that's the one.
How many glory you
on
probably scored.
each side, obviously. Yeah. Horrifying.
All right. Okay. Okay. Do I do that now?
Nick is going to attempt to stab.
We're
stab
we're
him.
still kind of in your power phase, Josh.
Oh yes, of
I'm
course. we
still
are.
kind of thinking maybe I should do something fun.
in the
inside.
thinking
While
phase.
you're having a think,
Yeah.
I could answer another question,
Please do,
which
yeah.
is, will we have the ability to remove equipped upgrades to free up glory?
No.
That's when a fighter dies. When a fighter
Claro, o
dies,
sea, no.
all the
No es como que se lo puse, no, yo no quiero usarlo. No, ya lo
That's what we've
usaste.
seen so far, you know, hopefully maybe the devs have some surprises in store for us in future, but we've not seen them as of yet.
Josh, it's time for my last activation of the game. It's time for an all-out charge.
Oh dear.
Ardorn's let me down completely throughout the game. He's been the wrong person I've been concentrating on. It was Farasa all along.
No, now you attack with Ardorn again because he's guaranteed success.
Ardorn's been a yeah.
He's been a massive... And also, he's got a charge token, so I can't do anything.
Of course, yes.
So I have to activate Farasa.
Has to be Farasa.
She's going to go all out, Josh, and charge onto Crititalk down here, hopefully to take you off of that objective and maybe even just kill you dead, which
This
would be
could
ideal.
be bad.
So, my good man, it's time
Yeah.
then for a big roll, and this genuinely could...
No lo sé, yo creo que después viene la ratita, explota y le da la vuelta. Si no le salen críticos, Nick está apuntando a críticos ahorita, pues si no le salen críticos no puede perseguir. Creo, a menos que tenga un upgrade que lo permita. ¡Oh! ¡Qué dolor!
Crititalk also is going to try and dodge here with 2 dice. Can his Skaven Guile save him?
Vamos a ver. Los dos dados y ya está. Pero lo puedes empujar.
So I
Been a
got...
Skaven in a past life.
It's true. Now, I got 1 success, and you got 1 success as well.
I did.
So it's an equal. I will drive you back off the objective. And thanks to the duelist upgrade, I'm going to move her on to
Sí,
to number 1.
me parecía que tenía por ahí un...
My plan was killing you. I've got to admit.
Half a plan is still some success.
I don't know. Okay, time
Yeah.
then for... I didn't get any crits either, did I?
No, you
I
didn't.
got a whole bunch of objective cards that I just didn't score. Over to the power step, Josh.
La última.
Yes, I've got no power cards to play, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I do have a few questions.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Do you know roughly how many cards are similar in each deck? It's about 3 or 4.
¿Cuántas cartas se repiten por mazo?
Yeah, we seem to have both played Healing Potion and Great Fortitude.
Stuff like sidestep.
Yes, of course.
Some upgrades like
Some universal cards.
Ponle unas
Universal
4.
Fortitude, those things are in multiple different decks.
Yes, but as you might have seen, most of my cards, because the Emberstone Sentinels is a deck that cares about holding objectives. You'll find cards like, you know, Stubborn to the End means you can't overrun onto the objective, makes it harder for you to take it off me. Brute Momentum is exactly the same, so you'll find, you know, these cards might not do so well for the Stormcast, but they'll do great here. You'll find a lot of good variety like that.
Josh, it's time for the power step, right? After my attack.
It is.
I'm going to play the Lure of Battle.
Oh no.
It's a ploy card.
Oh no.
You know it's coming.
Oh no.
Up here, Ardorn is going to turn to Zicket and just lure him towards him.
Goodness.
Crucially, off of treasure token number 3, which I hope scuppers some plans.
That could have been big. It may be Too soon to say.
Okay. Well,
Ya, pero
my
igual
red card left my
está
hand.
ganando. O sea, Nick está evitando que haga más gloria, pero a menos que tenga algo de 2 de gloria,
Last activation.
pues su última
I haven't
activación.
enjoyed Zicket not being on that objective.
I can imagine. So, it's my final activation.
Is it rat time?
And I'm not saying that Nick's final card onto Zicket might have been a big deal. But I am going to focus.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Because I kind of feel like I need some new cards in my
All
hand.
3 objective cards are going to go.
Well, not all of them, but actually 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of big. So, as maybe anticlimactic as that might have been, we're really going to need to try and score some glory here.
I was
So-
really hoping to see Tick Tick go boom.
Well,
Yes.
not yet, not yet.
Well, I would like to discard perhaps the card Iron Grasp, which I'll show to the audience now, which is
A ver qué
a
hace.
card that's a little bit damp from Skaven Tears about holding all the treasure tokens. in
Ah,
front of
todos en un solo lado.
We're going to discard that and
Oh, that's a big
stand
score as well.
firm.
So
It
close.
is. So I'm going to
Eso lo
draw
lleva a 11.
objective tokens, and of course that free power card that we would like to see.
Pero no nos enseñaron la otra tarjeta.
We are actually on to the power step because the focus
Yes.
takes up the entirety of my action step. The question is, did those extra cards help me out?
I have nothing to play in the power step before the end
Yes.
phase of you.
No, I
Before
don't
we get to the
actually.
end phase,
Yes, of course.
I do have some more questions.
Yes.
Of course,
Sorry
please.
to
No,
raise
no,
the
that's absolutely what we're here for.
This is a bit of a theoretical one again. Do you plan to add new card decks for playstyles outside of the starter box set? And the answer again will be, check out Warcom because we'll get to see what new decks might be like and how those work out.
Ya, no, nada más producción.
Nick and Josh, what were your favourite warbands from the last edition?
Ooh, now you've only just started playing, haven't you?
Yes. So while I'm a card game enjoyer,
Yeah.
this has been my first foray into the tunnels of Embergard. But saying that, these Zicket's tunnel pack are a lot of fun.
They
I gotta
are
be honest.
really good fun. They're great fun. Now, I've always been a Stormcast Eternal fan. I know my club,
Stormcast main. Yeah.
Domitan.
they'll know.
Domitan.
I always rock Domitan Storm Coven have been my favourite warband.
Ya sabía.
Let's
No,
at least say 2
no-
years. But
tenía cara de
basically,
Domitan.
Stormcast
Domitan
Eternals.
Stormcoven.
So Stormcast Eternals have always been on bag for this, which means the Emberwatch are generally my favourite.
Because when you're Azerite, it's hard to be Azerong.
Clip that, someone.
So I was about to say I like the Thricefold Discord because when one of them makes a mistake, another one inspires.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not inspired by what you do.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff. Of course, genuinely, actually, we don't know which ones are coming back, so we'll find out soon.
¿En serio? ¿Ustedes no saben? No te creo.
For clarification, are warbands still going to be able to play it even without War Scrolls? Well, we've got 2 in this box. We've already said there'll be 2 more that will get more news later on. There'll be 16 returning warbands. Again, we'll learn out more about that in the future. And all the other warbands will receive rules around this time of release. Again, Warcom will be the best place to get more information.
O sea, sí, vas a poder jugar con todas, tranquilo. No van a votar a ninguna.
But as whether you can play without one, you could, but you wouldn't want to.
Now,
Yep.
for a really good question though,
Ooh.
it's to do with timing.
Okay.
Is there a limit to how many cards can be played as a response to each other? So if one of you has a surge response that then triggers another surge response, how can we go with it? How far can you go?
Buena pregunta.
And I asked the rules designers about this in particular. So the word immediately is the clutch key here, right? So, Josh, if I play a card, if I make an attack action, I've got a card that says play immediately after an attack action.
Yes.
I play that card. Well, it's not immediately after the attack action anymore. So your immediately after the attack action cards won't work.
Yes.
So it's simple as that. It's just it's simple English now. It's that if it's immediately
Ya,
after,
hombre, pero
the active player will get to go.
eso genera problemas, pues significa que si yo juego algo de inmediatamente, ¿quién juega primero? Porque yo, ¿quién baja la mano primero?
Effort to make the rulebook a bit more accessible to newer players, which is really good.
Casi. No, esto va a generar muchos problemas porque inmediatamente, o sea, a menos que el reglamento diga si hay 2 cartas que se quieren jugar a la vez, una tiene prioridad sobre la otra. Solamente ahí podría haberlo.
Well, I think because of this, like,
Pero eso se va a prestar. ¡Hala! No. Acá, ahí sí.
immediately after I've been cleaved in half.
No,
I've not been
no.
able to, but it has
Eso sí
made
puede
perfect
generar
sense to me.
problemas.
So no, for real, I have found this fairly easy to pick up. As you can see, we'll see how well I was able to pick it up when we get to the scores at the end.
Como digo, lo único que falta ahí es una aclaración de
But, yeah,
si
no,
uno de
the
los dos
cards
tiene
really,
prioridad o es
the cards
literalmente
are
quién
very
baja primero la
interesting
carta.
themselves, and I was going through the rule book, and you've mentioned that the actual flow has been cleared up from the first edition of the game. It really has just made the play patterns that much simpler. And typically, if the card says you can do it, then that's what you'll be doing, and it'll be hard for your opponent to react to some of your most cunning tricks.
Anything else?
Yeah, actually ties into what you're saying about using a healing potion. We have
Yes.
the question about how healing works.
Ah, yes.
If Rat's able to throw healing potion on the screen, we get a bit of...
Gotcha.
Claro, sí, porque no solo dice heal, pero no especifica cuánto.
Now. So yes, with healing potion, as you see, it's a ploy. So in the power step, you're able to pick one of your friendly fighters and heal them. Now, the word heal crucially means you'll be removing 1 point of damage from your fighter.
Claro.
But as you can see, once you've done this, if you're the underdog, you actually get the option to roll a save dice, and on a shield or a crit, you get to heal that fighter again, which therefore would mean you would be healing another instance of 1 damage. In fact, I believe Nick did use healing potion while he was the underdog, but his fighter had only taken 1 damage at the time. So
This is actually a really interesting point about wording of the rules. Raf, can you find that card up again for me as well? Because we get some really interesting intricacies here of the rules. So, any card or any ability or any rule, you can only use or declare you're going to use that rule if you can complete everything from that rule onwards.
Yes.
So, for example, healing potion, pick a friendly fighter. Well, if you haven't got a friendly fighter left alive, you can't use the card, right?
absolutely.
Heal that fighter. If that fighter hasn't got any wounds tokens on them,
No
you
puedes
can't
curar.
heal them. So therefore, you couldn't use that card, right? So this card requires you to have a friendly fighter still alive with a wound token on them.
Yes.
If you're the underdog, and here's the crucial word, you can roll a save dice.
Yes.
It doesn't say you do roll a save dice. It gives you the option to do it if you want to.
Yeah,
Therefore,
okay.
earlier on when I was the underdog and I had a fighter that had only 1 wound token on them,
Yes.
I have the option.
Ok,
to
o sea,
make a save
ya,
dice.
básicamente si no tiene la palabra can, estás obligado. Tienes que hacer esto y cumplir eso y cumplir eso y cumplir eso. Si en algún momento te detienes, no puedes jugar la
For
carta.
example, on full health,
Yeah.
or if you have certain cards that might trigger from being damaged, it's actually another way.
No sé si soy yo. Me imagino, puede que sea porque estas son
It's
cartas,
crucial that keyword.
que sean cartas de muestra, pero
That you may, you can, you
me
don't
parecía
have
como
to,
que
you
hubieran
can.
pegado en la carta
You have
las
some
cosas.
things that you can if you'd like to,
Certainly.
which is nice and easy to follow. Great example here, right? So when I was first playing the game and I looked at the focus ability,
Yes.
the focus ability says discard a number of cards you like, and then draw up those cards, and then said draw a power card.
Yes.
Right? Now straight away I was on the rules designers when I played a game against,
Right.
and I said, "Oh, dude, but what happens if you've got no power cards left?" And we just reread the rule again, and the rule said
You can.
draw another power
Yeah,
card.
so if you can't complete the action,
you
you
can't do it.
Yeah.
But focus says you can draw another power card. You don't have to.
Yes.
So if you've got no power cards left, you can still do it. So essentially, focus is also used for pass. You can discard as many cards as you like, none if you like.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So that word "can" is really crucial and is used throughout the book.
So essentially, you do need to fully resolve all card effects, but there is
Yes.
wordage for
Exactly,
whether you
for-
have
Claro.
it. It's a may ability.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So-
Claro, focus es can.
Well,
No
I do-
tienes
Yeah,
que.
of course. Please fire
Of
away.
course.
So there's a question about how, or what actions you can do after charging. So obviously, this has changed a lot through the first
yeah.
edition about how you, what you're actually able to do with your fighters.
Ya, a
Yeah.
ver.
So, Josh, you want to take this one?
Absolutely. So charging, as you can see, is fairly devastating. And it
Well,
does
for you,
take-
maybe.
Yeah. So it does take your fighter out of the action for a little bit. However, if all of your fighters have charge tokens, as you've seen with Nick's Emberwatch, he's down to the 2, it does mean they can perform further actions. However, the actions they can perform would be a move or an attack action only.
Or a guard. They
Oh,
can make
of
a guard
course.
action as well if they like to.
Yes.
But yes, they can't charge again.
Yes, they
crucially.
cannot charge again, but they can move, attack, and guard
That's pretty much the same as it was in the current edition of the rules, or the old exhausted rules.
Claro, atacar, todo. Sí, 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 está bien.
All your warbands got charge tokens, they can do something else. But you've got to watch out for this as well, because we've had a few games recently where you sort of had 3 fighters that had a charge token, but 1 had a move token.
Yes.
And so you're like, I've got to activate that fighter because he's
Tiene
not
un
got
move
charge
token.
It can be
Claro.
really devastating if you're relying on activating with a fighter again.
Ahora,
It might
deme
force
un
you
ratito.
to being a bit more
Voy a
aggressive
mutear mi
with the rest
micro,
of your
pero
fighters.
ustedes van a poder seguir disfrutando tranquilos.
Because of that.
Absolutely. Basically, if you can choose violence, then do so, because it might come back to bite you later.
Hey, talking of my plans being scuppered by terrible dice rolls, it's time for the end phase.
Yes, I'm sure the audience is
now
wondering who's going to win this battle.
Well, so actually it's really close. So it's 9-8 currently to do before we go into the end phase, which is actually quite a low-scoring game of Underworlds.
It is, to be
We've
fair.
both had terrible rolls.
Yes,
throughout.
there are lots of fighters left alive, which means there is lots of bounty that's left unclaimed.
For sure. So, I'm not going to score, for example, Raph, if you can hold this up on the screen. I won't score critical effort, which I've had in my hand for quite a long time. Just need an attack roll with a crit in it.
Oh, so the dice have
Just
really
not
let
done
you
it, mate.
down here.
Just not done it. So I've also not scored on the edge, as none of your fighters are vulnerable, and vulnerable means you've only got 1 wound left.
Yep.
Crucially, you have to have been wounded,
Yes.
so 1 health fighters don't count
do
as
not
vulnerable.
trigger vulnerable.
But I have scored.
A big one.
No.
Oh.
Go all out. 5 or more fighters have move and or charge tokens, which I think is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I
There we
do
go.
score 1 for that, which means at all my score, Josh, it's currently 9 apiece
Yes.
going into your end phase, and I'm hoping and praying you score.
Si no tiene
Of course,
ni...
I did really have to focus here, literally and in the game, because Nick had put me in a really bad position by taking me off of Treasure Token 3.
Repeatedly.
Yes, repeatedly.
Repetidamente,
However,
sí.
start off like Nick did with the objectives that didn't really go my way.
Yep.
I did not score hold Treasure Token 1 or 2. As you can see,
Con ese ganaba.
under the control
¿Ven
of
cómo,
my
como pareciera que le hubieran
and
puesto
far
stickercitos?
away from any
Yeah,
of my
that's mine.
fighters
I'm
to
taking it.
claim. Furthermore, I did not score Sally Forth, namely because I drew it in my last activation and it triggers after my opponent's action, and there wasn't going to be one. It's a tremendous shame. We did not sally forth indeed.
Pero...
But you know what we did do?
Oh no!
We managed to hold Treasure Token 3 or 4, and it was Nitch.
Nitch should have died like 3 turns ago.
Who dodged not only death,
Y
but
ganan, no
dodged
puedo
his way
creer que hayan ganado
into
los
glory.
Skaven 10-9,
I scored one
brother.
more glory point.
Putting you on a grand total of 10
Yes.
to my 9. And that is the end of the game.
It is.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, good game.
What a game that was. Really
Sí,
fun.
muy buen juego,
Wow, I
realmente.
just couldn't swing weapons at all throughout. Do you know what? As we were adding up the scores there, and you were going through your cards, I was flicking through the rule book because we haven't had a draw in the game yet.
No, we've never managed it.
And I
not
was
yet.
looking about what would happen in the case of a draw. And actually, veteran players, this has changed slightly a bit as well. So in the case of a draw, if anyone's wiped out the other warband completely, that side wins,
Yes.
as it was before. Otherwise, the warband holding the highest combined value of treasure tokens. So here, for example, if it was a draw, you've got 4 points worth of treasure tokens. I've got 1. You would have taken the draw. Otherwise, if that's still a draw, the players compare the combined bounty characteristics of remaining fighters, and that player will get the win.
So bounty actually is playing a fairly big role.
And that's the change. It's quite nice. But we didn't come to that because you won by a single glory point. Well done, man.
We did. We won.
Muy buen juego. Igual creo que hubiera ganado Josh.
Moving, dodging, not really doing much damage
By the
at
sketch of
all.
your teeth.
Those dodges.
Sí,
those
porque
dodges. And
se bajó a 1 nada más. A 1.
Salutes me on camera in any way, shape, or form. Which I'm very proud of you for. Well done, man.
This means there's going to have to be another stream, isn't there?
Ed, what might I ask what the time is? How
We've
we
still got about 15 minutes or so.
Okay,
Just
so
like that.
loads of time. I was about to ask, like, have we got time for another game? No, we haven't got time for another
We
game.
have got time for more questions.
We
Absolutely,
certainly
please
do.
fire them away.
Okay, this is a great one that's come up quite a bit for
Yeah.
our games. When you score a certain objective, can you immediately score the next objective you draw?
It's a great
Sí.
question. So,
Si robas un search, sí lo puedes volver a...
I've scored Branching Fate, Raf. Can you bring Branching Fate up on the screen, please? Okay, so I scored that. I managed to I got a lucky dice roll. I scored that. I discarded the cards straight away, and by making the attack action, I killed the first model of the battle round as well.
Yes, you did.
Wicked. I'm really happy with that, and I scored Branching Fate. I discarded Branching Fate, and I drew up Strong Start. Raf, can you put that in the screen as well? So have a look here. Score immediately after an enemy fighter is slain. If that fighter was the first, well, it's not immediately after anymore because you just scored Branching Fate. It's not immediately after. You didn't have that in your hand when it happened, so no, you can't.
Ahora cambia el.
Wait until the next combat phase to use instead in the next battle round. So no, if you have it in hand, you can score it. If you draw it up, now if it might be like I've scored Branching Fate,
yes,
and then the surge objective might say at the end of an action phase, which does happen immediately
that would
Boom,
be absolutely correct.
Done. But some cards yes, some cards no.
Yes.
But you need to
O sea, depende del fraseo.
Yeah, so you're really hoping for those cards, those surge cards that will say, you know, either draw you a card that you can score at the end of the action step or in the end phase. That would be also be great as well. Though you wouldn't score them immediately if you were moving on to the end phase in the final turn, then that wouldn't be bad to see either.
True facts. What else we got, man?
Okay, what's the full wording on focus? Can you discard 0 if you just want to draw one without discarding anything?
I'm going to read it out. Raf, have we got it up to shuffle? Do you want to read it out, Josh?
Yes, of course, can do. All right. So, focus directly from the rulebook. You can discard any number of cards from your hand. Then draw a replacement card of the same type for each card you discarded. Then you can draw one additional power card. You have focused. So as you can see from the reading, you can discard any number of cards. 0 is any still any number, and you will always draw one addition. Well, you said then you can. If you have an empty deck, you may not.
If you just want to pass completely,
Yeah, if you just say, you know, I'm out of options, but you know what, that one extra power card might be that upgrade that really gets me back in the game. You can absolutely focus, keep your hand, and hopefully, you get that extra card you need.
You might be sat on all of your treasure tokens already, want to move, you've not got any ranged attacks.
And there's nothing in your power deck left to draw, so you discard any number of cards, 0.
Yes.
Replace them with 0 cards,
and then you can
not draw a new power card. Done. I focus. Essentially, it's a different way. It's a pass by another name.
It is. Yeah. You're able to fulfill the first clause, as we said, by discarding any number of cards. Stop. Boom. Then you can.
That's it.
A quick clarity question: do you have to attack as part of a charge action?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Now, yes, I can. Now, I do believe.
Why would you not want to?
Yes.
At home? What are you doing?
So, once again, this is a non-negotiable. So the charge comprises of a fighter moves, then that fighter attacks.
So yes, you have to. That's
so
not a
it's
can.
not a then you can. It's a you do, and you should obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Warhammer. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Now, another quick one we can throw on the screen is about Tick Tick's Boom.
Ah, yes. Now,
do you know what, Josh? We didn't get to do this in the game. Should we just do it live on screen now?
Yeah, go on.
Right.
Why not?
Okay.
I did use Tick Tick to score objectives rather than to devastating effect, but let's show it off anyway.
Okay, so
if
we're in the situation right now. We've got these Stormcast Eternals here. Let's take these tokens off.
Absolutely. So I'm happy to resolve this one. So in this case, Tick Tick has the Kaboom ability, and this actually takes up an action.
Can you show the War Scroll card?
Because it has a core ability symbol. So this basically is you're going to take one turn to do something devastating. Nice. So we pick a friendly minion with the matching symbol. Now Tick Tick is the only model in this warband that has that symbol, and that minion then moves. So you then complete a move action. So in this case, I would love to move Tick Tick nice in the middle of all of the nearby fighters.
Just moved right there. Okay. Ed, what battle round is this?
This is about round 3.
Is it? Oh my word, okay.
And what that means is that I will roll attack dice equal to the battle round, which is 3, for each fighter within 2 hexes. And if the roll contains any hammers, I inflict 1 damage, and if it contains any crits, I inflict 2 damage. And that can be on friendly fighters as well as enemy fighters.
Now, crucially, if you roll 2 crits, it's not 4 damage, it's still just 2.
No, it's if the roll contains any.
Okay, that's really important.
So, should we just demonstrate that?
Yeah,
and then, of course, once that happens, Tick Tick scampers off into the darkness, but is considered slain for the gaming purposes.
Crucially, got away alive there. That's
absolutely.
all that matters.
Before we roll dice, a question about this
Ooh,
is,
yes.
does Tick Tick's bomb inspire another fighter? It does.
Yes, it does, and that was what I was looking
¡A la miércoles!
Your own fighters and none of them inspired. This is a mass inspire
So
event.
there is some
Mass Inspire event. I love
there
it.
is some absolute strategy in taking tick and trying to deal slight amounts of damage to
Yeah.
your own fighter. Do you know what? Well, let's see what would happen,
Off we go,
shall
man.
we?
Let's roll up first. You've got Farasa here.
So for Farasa, it's battle round 3. We'd roll 3 dice, and Farasa would end up taking 2 damage here.
From the correct. Yep. So 2 damage there. Let's put that there.
It's also, just as another question, it is a core ability.
It is, yes. So this one is not a surge, unlike Skitter and Warp Charge. This one you're taking your action step to do, but let's be honest, it's cool. On to Ardorn.
Ardorn is taking.
Ardorn
1
would
damage.
take 1 damage
Okay,
here.
still not bad.
Tick does have an inspire side as well.
Yes, Tick can be inspired.
In
Not
case you
by
wanna attack
itself
with him.
doing this.
No, he's got big dreams, though. Right. It would be on
Do
to...
you know what? Can I roll for yours?
Are you going to see
Is
if
that
you can
alright?
finally
I wanna
deal any
finally roll
damage
some
to Nitch?
So Nitch, who's also in the blast radius, which is of course 2 hexes,
Of course.
is taking 1
Oh,
damage.
taking 1
Ooh,
damage
still
from a
attack.
Skaven. That's what it means. And then finally, Zicket.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow your. I'm actually gonna kill your leader, blow him up, kill him dead. It's 2 damage.
So this
to him.
would be 2 here. So as you can see, that's a fairly devastating ability, dealing a total of 6 damage
yeah.
across 4 fighters
Sí.
before Tick themselves scampers off safely into the distance.
Yep, that's right.
Tick is worth no glory.
I don't even get a point for
you
it. Yeah.
actually don't give your opponent a point either by doing this. It's a sneaky little trick, but as I was in the game, I chose to use Tick to score Careful Advance, the objective card, instead.
Let's talk about inspiration, Josh.
Yes.
Now, because of course Tick's been counts as being slain.
Yes.
So you'd pick say Zicket to be inspired.
Absolutely.
Now Nitch has been wounded.
Yes.
So let's say Ritak the Kill Wheel gets inspired.
Then Ritak would be inspired as well.
But then Zicket's been wounded, so he chooses Nitch to be inspired. And at the point half your warband is inspired, the other half has been run off the table.
Absolutely, because as we mentioned, when a fighter is dealt damage or slain, that is the condition for inspiring a Skaven fighter. I'm sure
cool.
it's perfect,
So
isn't
cool.
it? You just line up a chain of cataclysm and inspired fighters.
Speaking of cataclysm, that leads us into another question that I'll try
Yeah.
and get through the last few
Yeah, of course.
quickly. We've been asked for a quick example of what the decks are like.
Yep.
So we've seen Blazing Assault. It's a strike deck. It's all about charging and attacking on
Yes.
foe. That's what
Uh-huh.
I was using. Josh was using Emberstone Sentinels, which is a take and hold deck. It's all about controlling the battlefield and getting control of those treasure tokens. Then we have Pillage and Plunder also comes in the box, which is a flex deck.
Yes.
Now this combines a couple of different playstyles. Specifically, this is all about delving. So you do want to hold treasure tokens and
Yes.
delve them down, but also delve them back. It's also all about spreading your warband out and giving them survivability off the upgrades and
Absolutely.
I think
upgrades.
you've had great success.
Ya,
with
y el,
with Pillage and Plunder.
y el Mastery
I'm
que
a
es...
massive fan of Pillage
Yeah.
and Plunder,
Now,
and
Well, I was going to say, just because running low on time, and
Yeah, sure.
the final deck type
Yes.
is a mastery deck type, which changes a little bit how the game plays.
Uh-huh.
We've got
Raph,
yeah.
if you've got the
Ah,
Cataclysm
brilliant.
card, excellent. So this deck is all about getting Cataclysm points by having models die, essentially.
Well, in this, when
What?
you have the Cataclysm, it's a bit of a crazy deck, as you can see. There's a little fuse ticking down there. So the Cataclysm tracker advances whenever models do die, or whenever you have feature tokens that are unheld by your opponent's
So
team.
you really need to hold them if you're fighting against.
Yeah,
them.
Absolutely.
I made a big mistake in my first game against it. I didn't hold a single one, and Alex ramped up 5 points on the tracker straight away.
Of course.
And a lot of your cards tie into what the number relates to.
Yes.
Exactly that. That's the point. So a lot of attack actions, employs, and that sort of thing that relates to the number. So as the Cataclysm counter goes up towards the big kaboom, the 4, don't let it happen if you're playing against it.
Absolutely. You can find cards
Manja.
at the start of the Cataclysm tracker, maybe
Me gusta ese
damage,
sistema Mastery.
end up rolling 4 dice to attempt to deal that damage.
But that's
because it's
interesting.
a lot more reliable.
The idea behind Mastery is that you're getting these extra little special rules on top of it.
Yes.
Really, really good for veteran players or guys who want a bit of an extra challenge. They're not quite as simple to use, maybe, as the Take and Hold Strike or Flex decks, but they offer you a really good advantage. So,
Yes.
if you can learn how it works and use it. And Alex in our campaign's been doing really well with
Certainly.
it.
It's
Me gusta. Mastery me está llamando. Ya lo suponía, pero Mastery me está llamando.
Starts outside of the deck and is in play the entire time.
Well, that leads into the next question, which is interesting. What do you have to reveal about your deck to your opponent? Do you have to tell them which deck you are playing?
Yes, that is part
La
of
trama
the
sí.
Warband.
Si tiene trama, sí.
Like you say, I'm using this deck with this guys. Yeah, so simple as that.
Cool. A couple of final quick questions. This one is maybe for the keen-eyed in who are willing to watch back the video. Can you tell us what the glory ceiling is for the decks? Well, Nick has gone through his entire deck on the stream today.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16
over
plus the 7 from glory for killing.
Absolutely, would
opponents
mean
and
that.
I bet.
23.
100%. Josh, just have a count live.
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah,
I bet
so-
it's going to be almost identical.
So in total, Nick would be able to score 23 there. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. Yep, 15, 16.
So it's the same. That's really nice,
maximum
nice
of
and balanced.
23 glory
that's really
available.
good.
Now, one that's been asked actually all the way through the stream, and I was kind of waiting for the end again. Will there be organised play kits? Again, for everything about what's going to be happening, Warcom's the
Pero eso nunca ha salido en Warcom, pues.
information straight away as soon as it's available.
You'll get it in a lot greater detail than we can
Yeah,
give in these last
yeah.
few minutes.
We don't
as
give you a
well.
half answer, so
Yeah.
just wait for Warcom.
One final question, actually, Nick, is directed at you. As you are a veteran player.
Okay.
Obviously, we talked about.
Is it why can't I roll dice?
It's the king of Underworlds.
Apparently so. Yeah, well, having lost.
It's what's your favourite thing as a veteran player about this edition?
Ooh.
That is a
We've
really
talked,
good
we've talked
question.
a lot about it's super
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
for
yeah.
this reason or that reason to get
Oh
new
man,
players in.
so I'll tell you what. For an easy link, I bet Notley's already put my top 10 favourite things. I wrote an article about exactly what
Absolutely.
my
We've
favourite
got
things were
Nick's top picks.
that are in there. I think my number one thing was the fact that crits have changed the game. Veteran players have.
Yo, para mí, que más o menos me considero también un relativamente veterano, es el rediseño de los mazos.
I like the fact that the bounties have changed for the fighters. I like the fact that each warband is worth a similar number of bounty. I love that longboarding has gone and you have to get into action and fight. And there's some members of my
Te
club
dijo
out there that I'm looking at you guys.
lo que más
It's
te
really good that
gusta.
it's gone for the health of the game. I like that the universal decks are all over the place, and everyone can see what they are. The war scroll abilities really add some great stuff to the game too. There's just so many cool things about the new edition the designers have come into. Just little tweaks here and there to make the game much more accessible, and I think that might be my most favourite thing actually. My favourite thing about Warhammer Underworlds, and this can sound super cheesy but it's true, is the fact that I get to play games against people all the time. There's a big community of people playing games out there, and I want that community to get bigger, and what the designers have done here is to make the game easier to get into. We haven't dumbed it down or made it easier or anything like that at all. It's just more accessible, and the rules are easier to learn and pick up, and that means that new beginners can just Josh, you're a great example, right?
Absolutely.
You picked the game up like that in a couple of games, and
Ya. O sea, la accesibilidad sí, no se los voy a quitar. La accesibilidad no se los voy a negar.
Playing against each other, it's going to be a healthy community, and just everyone wins more Warhammer more often, right?
Certainly.
Woo! But that's my favourite thing. That's just easier. There we go.
What a great end to the stream.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you everyone for watching at home. It's been a pleasure for us.
Yes.
I hope you've really enjoyed seeing what the edition plays like. I hope we answered some extra of the questions that have been burning away for you. Again, for anything else though about the new edition, Warcom is the place to look.
Yes.
So, thanks a lot for joining in.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Adiós, muchachos. Bueno. Cosas que me han gustado en general. Siento que ha estado muy bueno. La verdad, no lo voy a negar. La nueva edición se ve muy bien. ¿Qué me preocupa? De lo que he visto. Yo sí soy de los de los que sienten que los agro van a dominar más. El Mastery me ha encantado, pero agro siento que van a tener más fuerza. A pesar de que esa vez Hold ha ganado, ha sido porque el Nick no pudo pegar. Pero imagínense que de los 4 ataques que él metió que fallaron, la mitad hubieran entrado, Hold no lo hubiera hecho. Lo prueba el mismo stream. 2, eso de que ya no puedes reaccionar a una reacción. ¿Quién reacciona primero? ¿Quién baja la carta primero? ¿O el jugador que está jugando tiene prioridad de reaccionar? Y si ocurre y él no reacciona a tiempo y yo reacciono, le digo, no, pero yo tengo esto. Él puede quitarme a lo que yo ya reaccioné. Un poco que me deja esa pequeña duda, ¿no? Eso es lo que más me preocupa. Lo demás de lo que hemos visto, la gloria, como lo dijo Ramón, y yo también le reafirmo, me parece que mejor era dejarlo con el sistema de darle la vuelta para que sea visualmente más fácil. No que tengas que estar, a ver, tengo 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, ¿cuántos tengo? Tengo 8. Hazlo visible, lo de AP y le das la vuelta, le das la vuelta. Las heridas que por el otro lado tengan 2, bueno, sí tienen un poquito más de vida, pero eso ya es nitpicking, pero lo de la gloria, el sistema me encanta, la solución, la forma que lo han presentado no me gusta tanto. Y nada, o sea, en general la edición la veo bastante buena. Me ha gustado muchísimo lo que le han metido. Lo más irónico, para mí, que han sacado en términos generales la ilustración, pero todo lo que nos presentan es en ilustraciones. Entonces es como que, ya pues, ¿no? No quieres recordar que has sacado las ilustraciones. Realmente ha sido una muy buena partida. No tengo quejas. Me ha gustado la partida, así es que nada, muchachos. Vamos a dejar por ahí el video de hoy. Muchísimas gracias a todos los que se hayan dado vuelta por acá. Y nada. Eso va a ser todo y ya voy a estar analizando un poco más conforme vayan saliendo más artículos. A ver, sobre todo esos pequeños temas, ¿no? De plin plin, qué cosa ocurre. Y no vimos magia. La otra cosa que dije, ¿no? AOS sin magia. Vamos a ver finalmente cómo queda. Así es que nada, gente. Nos vemos en una próxima oportunidad.